vibe, what a vibe.
Alright. People talk, that's what they do. They don't understand. Always still I push and go through. Yes, they laugh. They call me names, but they just don't get it. Oh, them see me, I hold my head up just the same. When them see me, them just keep on talking. I mean, I see them and just keep on walking. I got my pride. Me not gonna show my bad side. Some of them see me as a big pushover. Want me feel that I want me to kill over. Oh no, not I. I and I will survive. Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Never let them take away your liberty. Live your life and be free. Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Never let them lead you astray. Starting today, live your life your way. When you go through heartache, when you're feeling pain, when you end up in a desert, and I wonder why the hell it not rain. When I pass them judgment, and every word left a stain. When them talk up the things they try to mash up your life and give you bad name. Them think you're weak, but I just saw them blunder. Bad mind, I think they left your business asunder. Don't give them that power. Show them you can be stronger. Just take up yourself and make the whole of them wonder. Oh, you get up when them a try keep you under. Don't believe their lies. Show them that you will rise. Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Never let them take away your liberty. Live your life and be free. Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Never let them lead you astray. Starting today, live your life your way. I say, people talk. That's what they do. Yeah. They don't understand. Always still I push and go through. Yes, they laugh. What I do? They call me names, but they just don't get it. Or them see me, I hold my head up just the same. When them see me, them just keep on talking. I mean, I see them, I just keep on walking. I got my pride. Me not go show my bad side. Some of them see me as a big pushover. Want me feel that I want me to kill over. Oh no, not I. I and I will survive. Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Never let them take away your liberty. Live your life and be free. Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Never let them lead you astray. Starting today, live your life your way. I got my pride. I got my pride. I'm standing firm, stronger. Oh, oh, hey. They can never get me down. I say, people talk.
Peace, everyone. Peace to the east, the west, the north, the south. This is FleurBrun coming to you today with another topic of discussion. Big up to everyone. I hope you had an amazing yesterday. We had magnetic energy. It was such a strong portal yesterday. I know a lot of you were feeling like the energy's coming in. Over the weekend, it was just post-conference, I am feeling like amazing. Just the connection with everyone during the conference allowed for like this feeling of like calmness, love, like an immersing into like a higher frame of feeling that I couldn't have said. So big up to everyone who joined the conference today. This is talking about, we're going to talk today about parasitic releases, energetic vampires, and also energetic leeches that literally, if you clear them, they start going bonkers. So we're going to speak to that and how it interrelates into actually my life and yours. So we talk about a lot of times, hold on. Also, wait, before I start, hold on. Let me make sure I have everything up. Okay, so before I start off, hold on. Okay, so we have people calling in. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. I know I'm seeing this. Okay. 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 So today I'm going on Blog Talk. Big to all those on Blog Talk. You can actually hear me on Blog Talk right now. Oh wait, I think they can. They cannot hear me on Blog Talk. Okay, for those on Blog Talk, big to those on Blog Talk. This is a call-in show today. So we're going to get into vampiric energy vampires, vampiric, energetic leeches, and those who are basically part of your environment. And once you release them, you will see what and who they are. So I'm going to kind of interrelate that with myself, and we're going to kind of get into the signs and symbols of those that are energy vampires. Now, many of you saw I made a show, what was it, last week? And it was talking about, it was speaking about agents, soft agents, those quiet agents that are behind the scene, those beings that sit there and wait to basically, do deceptive things behind closed doors so that, you don't know. They're silent agents, so you don't really know who they are. But one thing I will show you, and I love when you get details and when it comes out and so you can validate things. When you have these soft agents, these silent agents, they work behind closed doors. You really don't see them. So what I always detail is doing cleanses and clearings. So what, if you remember, I did a 30-day water fast, which was amazing. Big up to those who joined for the water fast. We did an amazing fast, and what I felt like during their bloodsuckers, what I felt during the fast was amazing, because you always think that you're okay until you do a fast. Many of you know what I'm talking about. Like, you think, I'm okay, I'm about that life, I'm all good in the hood, until you do a fast, and you're like, wait a second. I have things that are attached to me, or things that are not really inside deep, parts of your shadows that show up, and you realize that they have to be, basically addressed. And a fast is the best way that you can do it. Usually when you do a couple days fasting, you may get a clearing, but that 30-day water fast was humbling. And if you remember, when I did the 30-day water fast, around the 21st day, about the 21st to the 26th day, I was feeling like really like tears coming out, just like really immersed into emotions that weren't things that I could deal with previously. And basically, once I got past that point, that 22nd day, bam, it was a clearing. And with that clearing came a lot of revelations. Remember I told you the unlocking of my ancestral codes. Once I unlocked those ancestral codes, if you remember, I was on my way to Brazil. Big up to Paula, because I just talked to Paula yesterday. And I'll be in Brazil. Big up to my Brazilian family. Bom dia. I should be there. I should be in Brazil again for the winter. So, and oh wait, let me make an announcement. I should make these announcements at the end, right? So I'll be in New York also. So all for my, because I know Capricorn, you're going to be there. So for all our New York brethren, I told you I was going to New York. So you'll see me in a couple of days in New York, and we'll do our meet and greet in New York. So big up to my New York brethren on here. Big up to my family over in Brazil. So you guys will both see me within the next couple weeks. Okay, so I did my cleanse. I went and I had like unlocking of codons, like a revelation of who and what I was. I went all the way to Brazil, spent a month living in the jungle, immersed in nature. I don't just talk about it, I be about it. And, releasing my ancestors from their etheric prison, dealing with those strong amounts of, releasing that's necessary. But the fasting kind of immersed me into that. So while I was there, it was amazing, but my clarity was amazing. Like that clarity that I gained from clearing allowed for me to see aspects of myself, but also to see aspects of things around me that weren't healthy and that were basically feeding off of my energetic field, or things that I couldn't see previously. So when I came back from Brazil, I noticed that things that weren't resonating with me, I think you guys remember, things that weren't resonating with me, whether people, places, and things, I kind of just dispersed them. I got rid of them, okay? So one of these things was a, person on my cipher group. Hey, Capricorn, I'm going to see you in New York. Capricorn, we're going to figure out who's meeting in New York, and we'll figure out where we're going to go. Capricorn, if you have I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to go further. Capricorn, if you have like a place, because we can't do Central Park, it's too cold. See where we should go and meet up. We'll do our meet and greet, and we'll talk behind the scenes. Because you have my number, just call me. Okay, so When I came back from Brazil, I was cutting ties. Like the Lionsgate came to, I was like, boom, boom, yep, yep, boom, boom. I see you for who you are. And I want you to notice that whenever you do a cleanse or a parasite cleaning, whether you're on wormwood, wormwood is a wonderful herb to clean parasites. Some of you do black walnut. Walnut is wonderful to clear out the intestinal, the gut, because a lot of our, a lot of things, remember the biggest and most amazing organ is your stomach. And once you clear that out, your gut, you kind of are clearing out, not only are you clearing out like your biosphere, your body, but you're clearing out like aspects of those things that are kind of capping your consciousness. So things that you hold on to, all those things that you basically are like, are hindrances in your life, you don't realize that when your body's out of whack and you're eating all kinds of diabolical for your, for your biosphere, it'll show up in your life with parasites. Like basically there'll be parasites on inside of you and they will show up as parasites outside of you. So usually if you do a wonderful cleanse, hey Yolo, hey Babel, Vivian, when you do a wonderful cleanse, you will allow yourself to not only clear something inside of you, but it will give you more clarity to clear things outside of you. So when I got back from Brazil, it was amazing. And this is what you guys should understand. It is very necessary as we go into higher planes of consciousness and awareness, we have to start to clear ourselves out. And sometimes we are unaware that we have any sort of attachments or we have anything that's going on inside of ourselves until we do a cleanse. Now, not everybody wants to fast 30 days. Listen, I grant that. 30-day fast was very difficult. It was humbling. It wasn't anything that I could say that everyone can do, but doing a basic cleansing every once in a while, clearing. I always say a fast is great because as within, so without. So when you do a fast, it kind of gives you full clarity. And it allows for you to see things with clearness. It allows for you to realize things in your life that are not in alignment with you and be able to address it. So when I got back from Brazil, it was amazing. I had cleared. I went to Brazil. I had a good time. Like I said, I came back and, remember the Lionsgate came and that Lionsgate, bam, I was seeing things from every angle. And one of the things I was noticing, like, were people around me. Now, it wasn't just people like on YouTube, because YouTube is just another extension of like energy that shows up. But it was people like in life that were unhealthy, that, again, my circle, my cipher in my world is very, very beautiful and pristine. And the one thing I noticed is that, and that's how you also, when you do check the mic, you can tell who and what you are based on your environment and based on what's around you. And when I did the check the mic after I came back from Brazil, I noticed that I lived a really healthy life. Like I noticed, like, how you check the mic? My children, gratefully, were healthy, had a beautiful mindset. That's how you also know how you're doing also. You check your children. When you check, my babies are my world. So I check my babies, see how they're doing. I saw that their minds were healthy, that they were thriving in their world, and anything that needs to be addressed with them. Then I saw that the people who rock with me in my personal world loved me, were wonderful to me, were so doting and caring and cared about what I did and how I was. And that was a sign. Those people that were outside, that were outer beings, that were always trying to connect to me, they were unable to be a party to my life. And before, just because I felt sorry or I felt like sometimes I had something to give to someone, I decided to disallow those people outside the outer layers of my bubble to even attach to me anymore, because I felt like if they weren't doing the work themselves, it wasn't my right or my responsibility to try to teach them something that they needed to be able to see and become aware of themselves. So my world when I came back from Brazil was amazing. So I noticed that in my personal world, when you check the mic, everything in my world, my children, my mate, my partnerships with family and friends was amazing and beautiful. That's also a testament to how you are legitimately. Meaning that if the world around you in your personal world is beautiful and people love you and you have zero aversions in your personal life, it says everything about who you are. Okay? So the parasites, any parasites that were the extensions of that, weren't any longer even allowed to attach, because I kind of just kept my hand out and said, nah, no more. That isn't a possibility for you to attach to me. Okay, so in the social media world, big up to all those on social media, on my IG, on my Facebook, to all the Cypher family, to all those on YouTube, you beautiful people on YouTube, and those I interconnect on the social media. I found that there were things in social media that weren't healthy, and what I started to do was clean up shop. I could see with clarity that there were people that were leeches, energetic vampires, and parasites. And once you clear out the parasites in you, you will be able to see and be able to clear out the parasites outside of you. So what you do is once you clear up inside, which you do the work, remember you don't just talk about it, you be about it. So you make sure you clear up inside of you, and then you'll notice and you'll be much more self-aware of those parasites outside of you. So, again, because many of you know on social media, there's a character online who's stating things about me personally that this being has not even remedied within herself. And this is a testament when you clear out the parasites. One thing you will notice in your own personal life, as soon as you clear off parasites or vampires, they will attack like there is no tomorrow. That is also a sign that you did a good job, because parasites need to be disinfected, and once you clear them, they will come bowdy. It's actually a beautiful testament of the work that you do, because you should be able to clear yourself, and once you clear yourself, you could be able to verify if people were parasites or places were parasitic. How do you verify? Because when you clear off energetic vampires, or when you clear off parasites, or when you clear off energetic leeches are people that are opportunists, people who only attach to you so they can benefit off of you, but they don't give you anything in return. It's a very, it's almost like a unrequited relationship where they're only feeding from you, but there isn't any energetic exchange. They don't really like you, but they want to connect to you because they want everything that you have without actually exchanging anything back. So these are what I call energetic leeches. These are opportunists in your life. People who see your light and they want to attach to it so they can benefit from it, feed off of it, and raise themselves to higher layers. So once I cleared, I was allowed to see those who were in my world, who were basically didn't like me, were benefiting and trying to attach to me and utilizing my name, a platform, to give them elevation with other people so that it could make them seem more legitimate. But meanwhile, they actually had issues with me. They didn't like me. They didn't like anything about me. They didn't like how I rocked, what I talked about. They didn't like the people that I associated with. They had a level of hateration that needs to be addressed. So I could see this. And as I started to see this, I started to put the curtains back and just look from a distance and see, put my head in and see, oh, snap. This person doesn't like me. Oh, that person really has issues with me. Oh my goodness, okay. So let me watch. Let me watch from a distance and see how far this is going. And one of the things, like I said, we're gonna address some things that happened online over the weekend while I'm enjoying myself. Anyway, like I said, I was having a good time over the weekend, and you hear about people's hurt feelings and how they're registering them being disinfected from my life, and how they are basically becoming venomous and bitter because they weren't doing the work themselves. They wanted to attach to somebody else that they didn't like, but they wanted to benefit off of. And when I disinfected and I released the Kraken, I released those beings that were parasitic, that were energetic leeches, opportunists, people who are here for come-ups and not really here for basically fielding together. Because remember, what you do and what you say should match in your daily life. If someone is a healthy, non-parasitic person, in their life they should have good family dynamics with their parents, their family, their children. They should show up in the world where people can verify who they are, because like today, we're going to talk to many people who actually join me for the conference, and this is what I'm talking about. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Have validation for people who meet you daily, your children, your family, your friends, who speak in benefit of the person. So if someone isn't negative, and they have a lot of insidious things in their own personal life, or they don't have good, healthy liaisons in their way, or they're hiding from the populace. Basically, they're hiding from those in their life. Wait, hold on. What happened? What happened? What happened? Melanie the priestess didn't say anything. What happened? Okay, I'm just looking at it. I don't know what happened. Okay. Melanie the high priestess has been here for a while, guys, so let her be. She's been a part of this world. Also, she can verify what happens as well, because there was another parasite that was attacking her over something as well, and she actually got attacked on social media, and I came to her aid. So, one of the people that was attacking her, that's one of the, these people that are venomous, who are very bitter. They come from very limited, consciousness, and they want to create coups online. Their basis of being online is just to be dark workers. They create fights and venomous towards people. They only look for chaos in order to speak to. So anyway, so let's go into this. So anyway, I saw something online on Cypher. Now, let me say this. Big up to all my Cypher members who are on here. Let me straighten things out, because when we talk about parasites, we have to talk about this. Many people have been on Cypher for a long time, and big up to Nora, who actually created, who was actually the first person who told me to create Cypher after numerous YouTube or FB deleting my, my pages on FB, deleting pages that I had. I think many of you remember I had Anunnaki Returns. Anunnaki Returns was on, was one of the FB pages, and I deleted it, and I kept deleting my page on FB. So, big up to Nora. Nora suggested, she's like, listen, we need to create a platform, and you need to have a private secret platform so people can go to without a level of inception. So she suggested that I have, start a group. And I said, well, I don't have time, because you know how I am. I'm about I appreciate my life. I'm really grateful for the life that I have. So I was like, I don't have time. She said, you know what? I'll help you out. If you create it, I'll help you monitor the group so that it'll be easier for you. So thus came about beautiful Nora, who helped me to start my beautiful Cypher. I named it FleurBrun Cypher, and it has been amazing, connective, secret group on FB for a while. Now on the group, I initially let like a plethora of people come on. Like I didn't verify anyone, because basically I was attempting to get people that were being deleted off my other page and just put them on Cypher so that they can have, be cloaked a little bit. So I didn't verify people's backgrounds. I didn't verify people's personal lives. I didn't look it into anybody, because if you have a platform, you can't verify for everybody. You basically see people as they show themselves. So there isn't any way that I can look at people and say, oh, this person's diabolical, unless I saw it show up in social media. Unless I'm paying attention to everything, it's hard to see that. So as time went on in Cypher, we started to see, and I say we, it's not just me, even though I get more credit for removing people from Cypher, people were seeing some of the insidiousness online, people that were just basically, they were either parasites or they were venomous people or bitter people, people who were hurt, people who are suffering from mental illness showing up on Cypher. So as it started to reveal itself, we would just remove them. We would just remove them and keep it moving, and basically, verify that not everybody should be in that collective, beautiful unity space if they aren't in that vibration, okay? So we did that occasionally, and every time I did it, if you notice, the general consensus, and this is true for the dark ones, say this, the general consensus is that there is 0 people who have problems with me until they get checked by me or they get removed from Cypher. And this is also a testament that if someone really has an issue with you, a parasite won't tell you how they feel about you until you release them from you. So this is also another telltale sign if someone's a parasite to you. Remove the parasites from your life. Remove them from your home life. Remove them from your family dynamics. Remove them from the things that they've been benefiting off of, which is you. And once you remove and isolate a parasite, you will know if they're a parasite or not. How do you know? Because they will start losing their minds. They will start spewing speeches of mass destruction. They will also seek out other people that are adverse to you in order to make alignment and give them credence and credit for why they were removed. So parasites, how you verify a parasite is basically if you've removed them, they will always collectively find people who hate you or who have aversion to you. And, again, one of the parasites that was on Cypher recently that was removed, she had made sure that she connected to a dark being, which many of you know was a being that was doing astrologics online and preying on women, including myself, and utilizing women for come-ups. He was basically doing spells and sigils. He sits all day. He has a big tower on his floor, and all he does is look at women that he can benefit off of. So when I found out, because this is somebody I knew, but mind you, this person I had never been in physical contact with. I've known him for years through others. No, he was never somebody who I personally was in physical contact. It wasn't a boyfriend. It wasn't somebody I had physical, relations with. This was just a being that I knew verified through others for quite a few years. And I had no idea that he was as diabolical until he showed himself and was jealous to the mate that I had at the last conference. And when he showed himself, he was surely verified as being a sociopath and also a stalker. And also, he was verified as someone who was doing spells on women in order to create them to see him in a certain way. So I'm not the only person who verified this. All of the sea stars who he was going to, though we were friends, and telling them that FleurBrun was in love with him, they were being, hey, mama, melanated priestess, They were telling me that this being was saying that I was in love with him. Now, why is this important? Because I want to show you how parasites work. As soon as I released him, all of the truth came out. All of the truth came out. So all of the sea stars who were afraid came and said, hey, FleurBrun, this person is saying that you were in love with them and that you were doing things in jealousy of them. Now, mind you, this being was someone that I wasn't in physical contact with, wasn't a lover, wasn't a mate, wasn't a partner. And also, this person wasn't even my physical, wasn't my physical counterpart. Like, I was already mated with Kirk. That is my physical type. Anybody who's in my world would know this, but people who don't know me are making speculations. So this is someone who's 4'1". He isn't attracted to me. He could be attracted to others. So it wouldn't even be something he could verify, but he only did that under the base and cloak of being my friend. And meanwhile, in the back lay, he was setting up shop, trying to feed off of the energy of the sisterhood. And I was told this before by some other sea stars, that he was utilizing me as a come up. And basically, he was an energetic leech. And he's continuously doing it because a young lady who made a whole big, the only time she gets views on YouTube is obviously by mentioning my name. And that also is an indication when someone is a leech or a parasite, because when you release parasites from your life, the only way that they feel like they get validation or they get credence or they get credit is by mentioning the person that they were attached to, who they feel it literally has more leverage than them. So what they'll do is, if they can't be attached to you, parasites, and you release them, they will mention you. They will keep you in their repertoire. They'll start dressing like you. They'll start acting and behaving like you while slamming you. So they're pulling, vampiring from you still, even though you have dispersed of your parasites. And if they weren't a parasite, they would happily go about their way. But because they have bitterness, or maybe they weren't feeding off of you, and that was the only way that they can create a sense of purpose. They only have what they feel that you gave them. They have their own platforms, but they only feel like validated by bigger platforms or bigger people that they can feed off of. So when they're released from you, and this is in any part of your life, you may have a friend who's been hating on you since the 8th grade. And she's been doing it, and she's been doing things. She may be talking to your boyfriend every time you turn around. She may be talking about you behind your back. Many of you know parasites in your life. You know them in your life. You know the vampires, energetic vampires. They're in your corporations. They're talking about you. You may have a coworker that's in your job right now, and they smile on your face, and every time you do something, they try to take credit for your work, and then they go behind your back. And then they go and tell your boss insidious things, true and untrue, to try to make sure that they are making you look dark. So this is relative to all aspects of parasites, but this is when I get excited. FleurBrun gets excited when I make a video that I can verify after the fact. I love this. I get excited. I know I don't. But when I make a video about silent agents, and then I get a 3-for-1 special of agents, silent parasites, when I get a 3-for-1 agents coming out of the mix, I'm excited, because it says that I'm in alignment with the universe, and that what I speak actually comes into coexistence. So today we're going to talk about the parasitic people in the communities, those who are utilizing other people as a way to feed off their energy. And also, when we clear and let go and release parasites, if it isn't true, if someone isn't a parasite, they wouldn't directly go to enemies of yours to try to get dirt on you. They wouldn't automatically go to people who are adverse to you. They would take it in and say, okay, this is relationship that didn't work. This person apparently has an issue. Let me go and live my life and live it with validity. Let me live my life with integrity. And let me show everyone that even though this person disconnected from me, I'm somebody who's healthy and I'm living with independent energy, and I'm not a parasite. Because the first thing I said when I released this person is that they were utilizing my platform as a come up. And that's why they were released. Now, why the last, the straw that broke the camel's back does not matter. Is that the general consensus is that they were utilizing and parasiting off of being connected to a person that they didn't like. And they showed it because they, right away when you release a parasite, they show you who they are, because they automatically go to somebody who's averse to you in order to validate the feeling of being rejected. So rejects always will do this, and parasites are rejects. Parasites that you release, and when you do a clearing, those are energetic rejects. And when they show up rejected, they will, like a boyfriend that you broke up with that didn't like it, he will bash you, he will tell things about you, and he will make up things of mass destruction to basically validate it. But you know, FleurBrun is about that life. I don't just talk about it, I be about it. So not only am I going to talk about parasites, we're going to talk about it with people who can validate who've met me, who've been in my personal world, who can validate who and what I am, because there's a lot of consensus that I'm hurting people, that I would do things to you, even though I bring my children everywhere and people meet my children. That doesn't sound like a venomous being. You know, I haven't slept with anyone's man, I'm not hurting people's families, I'm not hurting someone by doing things to them to create coups and anything. What I do is I blow spots. I've been doing it since 2011 on YouTube independently, and I've always been a part of this sect, talking about vampires, talking about energetic beings, talking about reptilians and those dark Kabbalists who utilize our energy. There is no difference of vampires of the government utilizing us to energetically feed off of than those who are literally utilizing, they do the same in your personal dynamics. So I'm going to bring in some wonderful people today. Big up to all those who are calling in today. We have people who are saying heinous things online that are absolutely untrue and unvalidated. And what we do is we want to show, this is why it's very valid, and I love this show today, because over the weekend, with so many revelations, and especially the 11/11 portal yesterday, this can be made in a way that can be validated. I want you to see when parasites are released. I want you to see what happens when you separate from vampires and what they do, so that you too in your life can verify when people that you deemed were vampires, and then when you release them, because you can easily, like I said, people, you can easily vet out if you were mistaken. If you're mistaken about someone, when you release them, they wouldn't show up diabolical. They wouldn't try to go to people to try to validate their insecurities. They wouldn't go to people who have hurt you and your family before to try to gain some sort of leverage in the sect of whatever you're doing. They would just live their life and they would be okay, or there'd be hurt feelings and they would just basically be enlightened in their own sect, and then eventually hope that whatever was released or whatever needs to be remedied would be remedied naturally. But I'm about this life. So when I release you, I love to, it's like release and capture. I love to release what I deem, because I could be wrong. I could release a parasite right now. If that parasite doesn't go crazy, if that parasite doesn't go and attach to other dark beings, if that parasite doesn't attract other dark beings, this is when you know you were wrong. You're right when you release a parasite or a vampire or a leech, and the first thing that they do is directly connect to someone who is harmful to you initially, especially in family dynamics. And if someone isn't a parasite and a dirty, dark being, they wouldn't bring up things about pregnancies or babies or your father dying. They could never, if a light being could never bring up somebody's dead father, could they? Could a light being who's really beautiful, who's really an epitome of light, who is mistakenly removed from, a group that she loved, could she go and talk to someone's dead father and bring that up? Could she tell people that FleurBrun didn't have babies that died and say that she has proof that her dead babies aren't around? Could a light being do that? No, they couldn't. Has FleurBrun ever talked about anyone's children? Absolutely not. Have I ever talked about someone's dead parents? Absolutely not. But if someone can do that, do you think that's a light being? Do you think that someone, and wait, we're going to talk about this a little later. Can you say yes? Someone talking about someone's dead father, someone's dead children. Do you think someone's a light being if they go after you release them? This is what I'm saying. This is a parasite, a leech, and they showed himself. Do you think that someone who's a light being, who's a positive person, who's an illuminator of consciousness and really is about that life, do you think they can go and say they have naked pictures of FleurBrun and want to bring, because they love women, and they empower women, and they have naked pictures of FleurBrun, and they have naked pictures, she has dead babies when she wasn't pregnant, and also her father is dead, and that's why she's losing her mind. Is that a light being? What this says is that when someone does that, it means that it was validated why they left, regardless of what the reason that they were disconnected, and they validated that they were silent agents. When you did your disinfection and you released the parasite, they lost their minds and they showed you really who they were. So I actually got 3-for-1 special. This is why I'm very happy over the weekend. I love it. No, it isn't twisted, serious. It is beautiful. Always welcome revelation. Always welcome revelation and truth. because we're at the time where people who can hide and sit in your cipher or in your circles, and they can be secretly, silently hating on you, hating everything you represent, jealous of maybe what you may represent, and maybe wanting to take on you. And basically, when you don't allow them to feed anymore, they basically will go out there and lose their goddamn mind. It isn't right that you should do a parasitic cleanse. And when you do a parasitic cleanse, this is when we have to get. Now, right now, this show, not only did I clear out parasites from my life and they verified themselves, we're actually going to snuff out the actual parasite themselves, because then we basically blow their spots. So this is why I say big up to everyone who is dealt with parasitic infections, who have also been able to clear during this time. We've done a lot of smudging and clearing in the house. We've done a lot of amazing things in the house. That's amazing, So, wait, there are about 5 people in Cypher who have said the miscarriage statement. Why are you mad at one? That's the only one I know about, Vanjie. Who else has said anything about the miscarriage? Why wouldn't they say it out publicly? It doesn't matter who said it. The person who said it the loudest is the one who's heard. So it doesn't matter. I'm talking about several different things about the person. So if the person said it out loud, though 5 other people feel it, then 5 other people need to be addressed with it too. But you can't validate someone's babies in their tummy. Now, we will also get a call, Vanjie, which I love, because I don't just talk about it, I be about it. So we're going to talk to the father of those babies that he lost, that had a hard time to this day losing. This is what I love about having this forum, because we can validate it, because there's people actually in my life who can validate these statements. Because when people talk about it and they can't prove it, but then they get the person who's a father of those babies, who actually got a chance to be with the woman who was pregnant with his children, who comes on live, what does that say about all people who feel that way? It means that they aren't as clear and crisp in their awareness. It also means that if they felt that way, it means something about them demonized me because they had issues within themselves. So when you have the father come on this live and validate that the woman that he loved lost children that he still struggles with, then let's talk about that. So if you're going to talk about it, be about it. See, I can validate people because people are in my life. And if I'm such a dark, dirty being, my world would be dirty. My children would be dirty. My abundance would be stuck. People who are nasty, who are dark, have a lack of abundance. They are insecure in the way that they show up in the world. And the only way they can be validated by attaching to other people. So I'm grown, and I've been about this set for a long time. So we're also going to verify some things that happened with parasites previously. So let's get into the conversation. I'm going to, oh, wait, hold on. I have a medium coming on this week. Okay, I got a lot going on. Okay, let me bring in some callers, because it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood when the truth comes out. And I love, let me just say this again. I am so grateful for the truth to come out. I'm grateful to reveal for people to see. And I love seeing parasites, because usually when you get one parasite, all the hosts, it's like one roach behind the wall. Once you see one roach behind the wall, chances are there's like 50 other behind the wall, but you won't know until you spray. So when you spray behind the wall a little bit, you see all the roaches run out from the back. I appreciate it. Yeah, hold on. Okay, so let me bring on some people to talk about what's going on. Okay, hold on. That's why we're doing this live. I want everyone to see. I want to validate the truth, because the truth will set us free. If FleurBrun is a dark being, if FleurBrun is a dastardly character, if she's hurting people, we should talk about it, and we should be able to validate it. It should be validated in the way I show up in the world with the people who actually meet me in person, and it should be validated in how my family dynamics show up. So let's be real. I'm grateful to Vanjie to come on, because Vanjie was one of the ones who made a beautiful statement defending her friend who did dastardly things, because she felt bad for her, because she felt like I blew her spot on social media. So I'm actually grateful that Vanjie can actually witness the truth, because the truth is not from one aspect and one angle, it's from various angles. And when you talk about people in ways, make sure you can validate and verify. I want to see, where's the naked pictures that was said that I have, because the naked pictures should be shown. There hasn't been any naked pictures that I've been taken, so let's show the naked pictures. That was something that this being said. The being also said that I didn't have babies and I wasn't pregnant. Let that being show up, and let's talk to the father who actually walked around with me pregnant and uncomfortable. Let's talk to that being, because when you make statements like that, but you want to be valid in other ways, you will be shown. The light will be shown on you, because the light has been shown on FleurBrun. Let's show the light on everybody else. Okay? So let me bring in our next caller, because we have a 1 for 3 special. I caught 1 parasite, I dispersed them, but there were 3 parasites that came out of the mix. So I'm grateful. Hold on, let me bring in our next caller. Okay, hold on. Peace, Barry. Peace, how you doing, love?
Oh, what's up? Can you hear me? Actually, I'm having headphone problems.
Yes, no, we can,
can you hear me?
We can hear you beautifully, yes.
I think it was, what was that TV show? Gomer Pyle? Golly! Oh, man. I don't know. I'll let you just take the helm.
Okay.
Because
so
I don't know. I thought about this a lot and how it can be addressed. This from the aspect that I noticed anyway. That seemed to suddenly pull me into this.
Yes.
We're talking, go ahead.
Okay, so we're talking. So Barry, we're talking about parasites today and energetic leeches, and we're going to blow spots on those that are basically people who have shown themselves and released themselves from the Kraken, and also show when you release parasites how they verify that they were parasitic in the first place. Now, at the beautiful conference, big up to, like I said, all the beings at the conference. How did you feel the conference was, number one, Barry? How did you feel? Because you were there and you were one of the speakers. How did you feel about the beautiful parasite? How did you feel about the conference?
Well, it was right there on the bayou, and all y'all had me tied up, and there was alligators on me and crocodiles, and y'all was trying to take my breath and take my soul, and now I'm all messed up now. There was Sasquatch running around there. All right, I'm sorry, man. I got to come with this a little bit of levity, because it's a shame all the attacks that I've seen you take since just trying to get this conference going. You did a good job. It was not easy. You had a lot of things thrown at you, and it was a really nice conference for people. And it wound up being different than any other one I've been to.
Yes.
It was more like a retreat in terms of the people that are on the same level. You've got a bunch of clairvoyants, a bunch of seers, a bunch of contactees all around that is multicultural talking. You know what I mean? It was a whole bunch of conversation and exchange of information going on there that went way beyond the people that were just speaking. So I think that needs to be addressed first, and that every time I see somebody like you, like including James Gillian, that tries to get a place, a forum for people like this to get together, you get attacked and automatically called cult leaders.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I'm not a part of any damn cult. Yes. I stand on my own platform. Yes. And anybody that has followed me or any of my work can see that. Mm-hmm. I don't stand on anybody's platform. I'm on my own.
That's right.
So that's bull. I'm certainly not a part of any cult, and I'm not going to go to any cult type of function. You know what I mean? So that's just a bunch of crap. Okay. And it's really a waste, because what that is doing is pushing the scientific community further and further away from these communities.
Absolutely.
And we're never going to get any validation as contactees, experiencers, as mediums, as clairvoyants, if we don't stop this crap.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really a shame, but it is what it is. I guess, when you're on a prison planet, you can't expect everything to be angelic all the time. So.
I agree.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll shut my mouth now.
And also, we had, when everything came out, because once the pictures came out, how beautiful, how successful it was, that's when a lot of the attacks came, because people intended, before the conference, there were a lot of things going on. And we're going to also have Saki come on to hear what this being did previous to the conference. But before the conference, we had a lot of people trying to stop it. But when the pictures came out is when we got the most attack. The attacks came after the beautiful pictures, and I felt like it was kind of like jealousy, like, oh, we were thwarted. We tried to mess up the conference, but it actually turned out quite beautifully. So I felt that was amazing. That's why I'm having people call in now to talk about actually the conference. Now, there was a being that actually, I'm going to speak to this, and I'm going to let you as a man address this person. When I had the conference has a certain price. Now, let me state this beginning. FleurBrun has never made any money, this is my second conference in a row, any money for the conference. I charge people for the conference. The last year's conference, I spent a lot of money, and there was zero regret. The second conference, this conference, I spent a lot of money, and people paid to go there, and I made $0. And I could verify that. There's receipts for that. I don't care that I don't make money, because it wasn't about that. It was getting experiencers, especially experiencers of color, to come together and speak out about their experiences with either extraterrestrials or spiritually, because we don't have platforms like this. We don't have uniform conferences like this. So when I do it, this is a way to allow, I'll take a little bit of the financial hit to allow to be the first, to allow for this kind of community to come together firsthand. Because if I'm really a charlatan, if I'm really a lie, I wouldn't invite people to meet me in person with my children on site. If I'm really a harlot, or I'm a dark being and I have dark beings that connected to me, my children would show up with that on them. So that being said, did you feel any way about my children being there, Barry? Did you feel like they were dark beings? Because people say I'm a dark being. Did you feel like my children displayed darkness in them? Yeah, let's speak on it. Because children be a testament.
No, I don't attend dark events, and I especially don't attend dark events that involve children. But I will say this: there was a child there. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. One that was being used by dark forces. Absolutely. But it certainly wasn't your kids.
Absolutely.
But there comes a certain point, where I don't know how I'm perceived by people in person, but I'm not a young man, okay? And I've been around for a minute. And something that I did do for 22 years is I worked with youth, specifically juvenile offenders and children at risk.
Yes.
So I can really pull out some of these behaviors, and I can see somebody that acts like a child in a group like we had there. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Somebody that, for example, is going to come in and not speak to another black man when they're in there and they nod at him.
Okay.
That type of a thing.
So let's
anyway, I'll let you go on into your thing, because I'll start getting carried away and start firing arrows here. And I said I wasn't going to do that.
So let's speak to that right now.
Said I wasn't going to do that.
No, you're good. You're good. Let's speak to that right now. When I made the conference, one thing I noticed that not everybody can afford the conference. One thing I noticed is that with the conference, there are people who don't necessarily, they can't afford it, and I know that they want to go. So what FleurBrun has made an active plan is that if you can't go to the conference, you can actually help me, and I'll allow you to come and be at the conference and help me out, whether it's security, whether it's helping me out with other things, and I will let you come free and clear as long as you help. I think it's a fair exchange. So there was a brown man called Baron. He's usually on my site right now. Baron was one of the people that was part of my IG family. He's usually on here. He's not here anymore. He noted that he really wanted to go to the conference, and the first thing I said to Baron, I said, I know that it may be hard. You can come, but you have to help me with security. So I was excited because I really appreciated Baron. Baron was always on my IG. He was always very supportive. He's actually in Atlanta. So I felt like I want brown men, young brown men, to feel comfortable coming. And if they can't afford it, I feel like I can extend that. I will give him a free chance to come and enjoy all the amenities, food, people, enjoy the community that he has been connected to. So I did so. So I invited him free and clear. Now, when he came to the conference, I didn't give people the actual address for reasons to protect the facility itself, because it was at a home and I had to make sure for the security and safety for everyone. But what I did is, previous to the conference, I set up people outside of where I was 5 minutes away. So everybody knew the town I was in, everybody knew where they were. They would only get the actual address the day of the conference or the day of the masquerade. So he was one of them. Now, during the midst of doing stuff and so on, I forgot to call him, but the masquerade wasn't on, because the masquerade was on the 31st. So I hadn't got a chance to contact him and Ace. So once it was alerted that they were there, and I read his message, I made sure that Ace got the directions, and he did. So they actually got the address previous to them coming to the conference, to the masquerade. So they had directions to go. So when Baron came, the agreement was, you're to help me with security. He was on time, but he hadn't helped me. He didn't come in and do anything. And what he did is when he saw his friend, because I paid for Ace to travel, because Ace came, so I paid him when he came, because that's what I did, because Ace was traveling from Florida in his car with his girlfriend, so I gave Ace money. Ace required money to travel. So when he saw I gave Ace money, he not only didn't help me with the conference and came in at 8 and acted like it was all gravy, never asked if I needed any assistance, he asked me for money. So for insult to injury, somebody who I allowed to come to the conference because out of me wanting to extend this to people who can't afford it, I allowed a personal exchange, and a being came, and not only did he disrespect me by coming in and not assisting me, he, as a man, as a big man, he's a big man, he came into the house, ate up all the food, and then as insult to injury, he asked me for money. And then he insulted the men around the place. So can you speak to that, Barry? Because he was actually on this other being's feed talking about the conference. When this being was invited for free, he was supposed to help, he did not. And when he was told to work and help, he said he had a headache and that he couldn't do it. And then he asked me for money, and I didn't give him the money. So can you speak to that, Barry? Because he talked about the men at my conference, talking about their beta males, talking how there was a whole bunch of beta males, and we hate men. Though I brought a black man to a brown man to my conference for free because I wanted him to have a good time.
Oh, okay. First of all, I hope you can still hear me.
Yes.
First of all, I just came in. I looked at the computer. And I'm looking at the comments. Yeah. I want to say hello to everybody. There's so many people saying hello on here. I want to say hello because your audience has been very kind to me. All right, and I want to give them all a shout out. A lot of them that were at the conference are on here. I want to give a shout out to each one of them. I tried to talk about everybody there. There was some nice people there, and that can't be tarnished. But on to the other thing, okay? Oh, goodness. Okay, for starters, would you make a comment when referring to beta males? Who do you feel that comment was specifically targeted at?
Well, I felt like he must have been speaking to you. You felt like he was speaking to you, because I don't know what he was talking about when he said beta males. Who is he talking about beta males? The males that were there were all seasoned males, big, strong males that were helpful and honorable. So what beta males? The only person I saw sitting on the phone when he didn't pay and he was supposed to help was someone sitting in the front row on their phone the entire time, drinking, who was high out of their mind. A lot of the C-Star says he was high the entire time, which is also disrespectful to me, saying that he wasn't even sober. So please.
I'm sorry, I keep laughing, but I can't help to, because it stops me from really going too far left on this. All right, I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. All right, I will say this: when I see those comments about beta males, and when I notice an individual that walks into a mixed party and does not acknowledge the other African American males, black males that are there, especially one that nods at him, then do not acknowledge their presence. Okay? That is a type of an issue, especially when you claim to be very pro-black and you're standing on pro-black issues, down with Bobby Hemmett in the world. Come on. Something's off there. And when I look at that, I look at it terms when I look at kids. That is a kid, all right? In my age, that is definitely a kid. So I'm not going to get mad at the actions of a kid that is upset, okay? And to say that, and I'll tell you something, certainly. I can tell you this. There were a few males at that conference.
Yes. And
many of us there were all a type of alpha male.
Yes.
And one of us is a little more verbal than the others, okay? And when I'm presenting, I see this individual. I'm hyper aware. I am aware of much. Okay, and I see this individual smirking at me as I'm doing my presentation, but I'm too busy still, engaging the rest of the crowd. But then by the time I get done, this individual's mouth is hanging open, and he's telling me he wants to show me some pictures. And then this individual, when I get done speaking, follows me around to show me pictures on his phone. Okay, that's not. And normally an alpha male does not come for free to a conference and not do what they're supposed to do.
Thank you. That's not very
An alpha male does not sit there for free. An alpha male does not complain and hate on some food that they had no problem locking on it was locking the whole time it was there. Okay, so these are things that I will just say, all right? So these are things that when I observed the actions of a child, and you had other individuals there, their age as well, that I would call young people.
Yes.
And I got to interact with some of these young people before I left New Orleans for about 4 or 5 hours.
Yes.
And let me tell you, it was bad. Ooh, they were on point. They were on point. They were powerful, and I enjoyed it because that's part of the reason I came forward, was for these young people that are having experiences that are probably way beyond mine. I'm just a person, and I'm one of many that right now we're in a population where 85% of our population is having either psychic vision or some type of contact experience. Absolutely. Many are unaware of it, but it's happening right now.
Yes.
So if anybody can come forward and provide a platform that allows others to start communicating, that's how we get the scientific community brought into that, and we start changing our society. Absolutely. This is serious.
Absolutely. And
but you got somebody sitting there who's not a contactee, who is hateful and doesn't know, and that's an issue. Otherwise, there's no reason to attack any of the men that were at that conference. You had some strong men there. That was very cool. Yes. You got one that is expert Muay Thai, lifetime expert. You got another cat that's been all over the world, a boxer of a type. Yes. When you talk to him, when you sit down and talk to the brother, you had actually quite a bit of action going on there. So that's too bad. And just in all fairness, before I shut my mouth, I did talk to the other individual that was associated with that, so to stop them appearing like an Abbott Costello act, okay? You had the other individual that at least I did associate with and talk to when they first arrived. In fact, they sat and talked to me for about an hour.
Absolutely.
Okay, and they're aware of some things, and they're young, okay? People have some issues, but at least they're trying, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to hate on that person. Yeah, but the other individual to sit up and hate like that, when he was sitting up there for free, you sitting there for free and you got to hate?
And it's not
what the hell? That's pathetic. That's very low vibrational.
And it's also
that's somebody that doesn't need to be amongst people like that. I'll shut up now. Sorry.
And not only did they come for free, insult to injury, they came and asked for money. And after that, when they were called out for being parasitic and disregarding and disrespectful, they went directly. This is why we talk about parasites, because as soon as you release a parasite, what did that parasite do? He went to the other woman who's a parasite, because parasites, birds of a feather flock together, went on her site and noted that I set people up. I was hurting people there. The food was garbage, even though he ate every day and the food was magnificent. Every day we have food, we have different food. And again, I'm not from there, so I'm not picking food that we know and vet out. But all the food was provided by FleurBrun. He ate and drank and sat down and sat on the phone. And he was there for free when many people paid, which I think is disrespectful to those who came. And all he had to do was help with security. And when he was even asked to do it, he said he had a headache and had to put ice on his head. But he's talking about the males that were there calling them betas. This is the diabolical, and then he has a nerve to go to another parasite. So I'm just saying, look at the people. Parasites show themselves every time. Leeches will go to other leeches to get validity, because he can go to another platform with another leech that talks about people, that uses people, that is using other people's platform for a come up, and then he could go comfortably to her platform, and the only thing that he could talk about was everything that he didn't do, what everybody else didn't do, and then not speak about he didn't pay, why he went there and didn't do what he was supposed to do, how he was drinking, eating, and communing with people who had put in time and energy to make this happen, and how I extended myself to allow a young brother to show up at this event. And when I call him out, instead of apologizing for being a leech, he goes to another platform with someone who tried to stop the conference anyway. This is the type of behavior I talk about when we talk about parasites and energetic leeches. And I have Barry talk on here because Barry can talk about that personally, because Barry was actually there. So I don't just talk about it. I bring people who are actually on point. So when we talk about silent agents, I got one for the price of three, because not only did the other being who came and tried to do things because she was removed from being a parasite. She made sure that she was going to people before the conference, including another YouTuber, and tell them how diabolical I was, and then was upset that I warned the other YouTuber that this person was a parasite. Let's talk on it, Barry. I'm ready tonight. The 1111 energies are here.
I'm looking through here as people are talking. Boy, it goes by so fast. But definitely a shout out to some of those young people that are here, like, oh gosh, I can never pronounce your name right. Niru.
Yes.
Very, very heavy impact. Oh man, yeah. Anyway, and they're bringing up Carlos, that maybe he was referring to Carlos.
Yes.
I can't make that determination because it said alpha or beta men. Like everybody there, that puts the scope on everybody.
Absolutely.
And concerning Carlos, I mean, look, that cat tried to do what you brought him there to do.
He busted his
and
butt. Carlos did an amazing job.
Concerning me, he really helped out a lot with the technical stuff as far as the computer stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, he was all over that. And he made that the technical part of the people that were presenting run a lot smoother than other ones I've been to. So that needs to be acknowledged. Also, and then I saw something about that was an event that happened at that store that you staged or something. Man, that is not even remotely fair to say that. All right, listen, I was in that store.
Thank you.
When that happened, I was up there looking at the pendulums. I actually was getting a pendulum from there. Mm-hmm. So I was getting registered, and then all of a sudden I heard the noise back there. I walked back there. So that happened so quick, and what you got is some type of a crackhead back there, foaming at the mouth, so tripped out or whatever, just tripping out on him. And that's the way that had blown up. That certainly isn't something that you staged.
I brought a crackhead to go inside.
What's did you get the crackhead some Alka-Seltzer tabs to chew on so he would be foaming at the mouth?
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
And also,
is that what you did? You slipped him out into Alka-Seltzer tab. I didn't see it.
And also, to speak to that, just to expound on that a little bit, Carlos was the one who stood up for the young sea star that was being attacked by this man on drugs. So it's interesting that someone who calls people betas, including if he was verifying that it was Carlos was a man who stood, and then he was threatened by a crackhead, some sort of man. He stood up for the sea stars to protect them. So you're caught, and this big man called Baron, who has a strong name and is big, stood outside while another man who's smaller in stature stood up to like a venomous being. So he's calling that man, he's calling that man a parasite. He's calling that man a beta who stood up for another sea star. But then he's standing outside, not even trying to protect or trying to honor the other women. Really? So we're speaking to that. But wait, before we go on, we have a sea star. Cadillac said there was receipts on that being's page of things they did. We're going to speak to that, Cadillac, because what you're seeing is 0 receipts. What you saw on that being's page is she put an email, a text that I gave Offset about warning what she did to me so that she wasn't going to be set up by that being. That isn't a receipt. That's a fact. There wasn't any secret. FleurBrun didn't lie about it. Remember, Offset and me were talking behind the scenes. So it's not like me texting another YouTuber that I don't talk to, that she doesn't call me. Offset calls me before when she was supposed to go, she called me, and she's called me after that she canceled going. So we're not talking about a receipt that's actual receipt. She's saying a receipt that I was blacklisting her. No, it was a receipt of me warning another woman that I talked to behind the scenes and telling her what she did to me, so that she tries to talk smack about me, you know why I removed her. If you look at the receipt, you see exactly what I said. It was warning her what she did to me so that she knows that's why I had issues, that she has issues with me. That's not a receipt. That's not a secret. There was no lie about that. That's not a receipt. So there was no receipts that the person gave you. She's giving you smoke and mirrors. Ask Offset about that. There was nothing wrong. And even when Offset said, I'm sorry for sending her the thing, I said, you're supposed to. You're supposed to validate. If I'm saying somebody did this to me, she's going to validate. So that's not a receipt. That's called being messy and trying to get credence and credibility for the things that you're doing, including you saying, well, we're going to have another C-Star come on here because we're revealing Parasite releases today, and this is one of them. So, Barry, go ahead, Barry.
No, it's just, and I want to be clear, not to at all dismiss that, but I wasn't even a part of that with those people, those women. I don't even know them really, outside of maybe they were on the Cypher group or Facebook or something like that. I mean, I don't know them. I've interacted with them, but this here that happened here, the thing that kind of got me was beta male thing. That's really, I mean, I'm not, I'm sorry, even if it is a kid talking like that, an angry kid, I'm not going to let that fly, all right? I'm not going to let it fly. I'm certainly no beta. And anybody that meets me will know that, all right? I'm not trying to say, but it is what it is. I didn't get to where I'm at in life by being a beta.
Yes.
I didn't survive 4 catastrophic brain injuries by being a beta.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be included in such comments like that. Absolutely. When I did nothing to that individual. I did nothing to that brother at all. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So I don't like that comment, and that's just going to be crushed there. And number 2, I will not be accused of being in some type of a cult. That's crap, man. Absolutely. That is crap. Oh, that is low vibrational crap that disrespects the whole thing you had did. And you've already got 2 different sets of practitioners going against you when you've done both of these conferences. Yes. And you see how it starts materializing in weird ways. Absolutely. But it was still a nice. And I think most everybody there did not lose their souls. They did not lose any energy. I think they had a really good time. Absolutely. I got to see New Orleans. I never been there. Absolutely. And so, let me, sorry, I'll shut up now, but that needs to be focused on. I really want people to know that, and I want to acknowledge all the people that were there, young people I got to talk to at the end. Absolutely. It was just really pleasurable.
Absolutely. So let me validate, because I think Vanjie was in here and she's upset because she feels like I should call Osset. Let me explain this, because this is what Osset said. Now, we're going to get somebody who this being went to previous to my conference to tell her that she went to Osset and LaLuna wouldn't come to my conference because she talked to them. She said this. So let me validate, because, you know, Osset also shared the receipt of what I shared and telling her why I removed this person. Let me share, because I think it's only fair. You know, Osset shared, the share with us on what was said with this other being. But let me share what was said exactly, because we've got to make sure we have facts here, right? We can't just have one side. Okay, so let me say hold on. I want to read a receipt, because we always like receipts, and I can show it too. So hold on. Hold on. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay. So on August the 18th, let's put this here, because, you know, when people are lying, we got to make sure we validate. So this is from Osset. She sent a beautiful message. She said, this is Sunday, August 18th. Hey, love. Unfortunately, now I am unable to attend. Now, because remember, we're going to have someone who validated that this being went to Osset and said that she was the reason why Osset wasn't coming. So who's lying? So this is what Osset sent to me. It's a fact. It's a text right here. Osset sent me a beautiful message. Hey, love. Unfortunately, I am not able to attend. I was waiting on the word before getting back to you. Since my daughter's birthday is on 11/4, and since it's her first birthday, we now have family flying in for the week. I hope to catch the next one. Anything else comes up, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Okay, this is what I said to Osset. This is my response to Osset. Zero worries, love. Famille comes first. This will be one of many to come. Enjoy this special time. This is a receipt. So we're going to have someone come on before, because this being has brought Osset's name in here. I didn't bring it in, she did. And what she was saying is that I spoke to Osset and told her about her. No, what I did was connect to a friend, because after this message, because they were saying me and Osset don't talk, after this message, October 1st, I spoke to Osset. What else? October the 6th, I spoke to Osset text. October 6th, I spoke to Osset. Friday after that, no, this is just recently. Okay, and she sent me a message this Friday, about the things that were going on with this being, and I replied to her, okay? Okay, so this is receipt saying that me and Osset were talking. I didn't have a problem with Osset. Osset didn't have a problem with me. But this being brought Osset's name in there, saying that she spoke to Osset, and the reason Osset didn't come to my my conference, and this is talking to parasites. We're keeping on subject, family, so it's not messy. I want you to see this is something for you each to witness in your lives, because a lot of times when people do dirt, they do it covertly, and then when you react to it, they'll blame you as if you did something. So this is she did a beautiful response at the beginning, said she couldn't come. Now, the person who was contacting people before my conference, she said that she had spoken to Osset, and that's the reason why she wasn't coming. So this is why I think it's very interesting that she's upset with me for telling Osset that I removed her because I feel like she was soliciting on my page, which was after she supposedly warned Osset about me. So who's really the dirty one? If you're saying that you spoke to Osset and that you were the one who were the reason why she wasn't coming, why would you think energetically there wouldn't be a ricochet back at you? So it isn't a receipt, it's a reflection back at you. Okay, so go ahead, Barry. Barry.
I'm just, I'm tripping on all these receipts. Where's everybody getting all these damn receipts? Y'all been at Walmart? Where's everybody getting all these damn receipts?
The young people use this term.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that this is happening, because the whole thing is just a waste of time, and it's taking away from the main objective, like I'm saying, which is to try to save this place and not keep this planet as a prison planet, and have somewhere where people like us and the people that are in your chat right now don't have to hide their experiences from the people in their lives.
Just from having
that's what we're striving for here.
Just for a conference.
That's it. It's not this big deal to hate on each other and alpha versus the betas, and that's the damn Revenge of the Nerds bullshit.
Absolutely, but Vanjie, no, I was verifying with Vanjie, but Vanjie, if that in the case, remember, you don't bring another YouTuber who I'm talking to. Clearly, I knew before. See, this is where I want to catch some people's lies. See, I'm very honest about how I am. See, I'm honest whether I look crazy, where I'm so on. If this is the case, I asked Osset, but before I asked Osset did tell me her daughter was turning 1. So it is not a lie that she's talking about her daughter, why she didn't come. She told me before I asked her. She said, it's my daughter's birthday that weekend, but I'll be back by the 4th. She told me this. Then when she said she wasn't coming because she was having family, it's verifiable. It's understandable. So it's not like it's something that she felt. And she said, I'll come to another one. I didn't have beef with Osset. Me and Osset didn't have it out. There's a person who's a parasite who's attached herself, who was upset that I released her, and she felt bitter about it. So she was trying to put her own frequency on her to make it seem like I was a dastardly deed. No, I spoke about why I released her, why I didn't want to be a party to her, and it's been validated why, because she went to every single person who's had issues with me like a true parasitic leech, and went to every single person and basically verified that she was the reason why she's being released. No, I'm talking about why she didn't go to the conference. I'm talking about the screenshots. And no, the screenshot is not a fact. The screenshot is her protecting herself from something messy. I got a beautiful email from Osset on Friday, and she told me why she showed it. It wasn't a secret, Vanjie. There's no secret there. There wasn't a secret I was warning another YouTuber. You know how many YouTubers call me that you guys don't know to tell me some of the messy thing that's going on so I don't attach myself to it? You know how many times there's YouTubers that call me and say, FleurBrun, this person has, right, Barry? We talk about it online. I just cursed this person out for being disrespectful. Don't be surprised if they come to you and they say something crazy about me. That's all it is. So that's what I'm saying. It's not odd for me to talk to somebody who I talk to. It's not like me and Osset didn't speak. There was zero beef with me. So Osset and me were speaking. There's nothing wrong with her showing her the receipt, but there isn't anything wrong with me saying it to her either. That's all. Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry, Barry. This is all. So Barry, I'm so grateful that you joined today. Just to, you giving a little bit of credit and credibility to the men who actually came to the conference, and also the notion of how beautiful it was, and the attacks that come when you're doing something beautiful, for a collective. Again, everybody there was safe. People flew in safely and people left safely. We didn't go to sleep like 5 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock in the morning, right, Barry? We were up until like 5 in the morning some days. That's also why, how come the same being that talked about alpha males or beta males, how come he didn't talk about how late the conference was on Saturday? The Saturday was late. The conference was late because we were all up until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, they don't know. They weren't there.
Exactly.
They weren't there. They left early.
Exactly.
They don't know.
Yeah, we had a conference that was late. There wasn't anybody who said anything about the lateness of the conference because we were very late. That's something you could speak about that's valid because we were up chilling out, hanging out with each other Friday night, and we had to get up and set up for conference. And Carlos, the beta male that this man was talking about, got his butt up. He didn't get enough sleep, and he busted his butt to make the electronics. He made sure everything was beautiful. He was very attentive. I want to speak of how beautiful he was. And this is a testament that there are people that will always look for things because they're haters. They're parasites, and when they are not associated with your greatness or the things that you do well, they will always try to shut it down or try to make it seem like you're something dark or you're dirty.
Yeah, that, it's like I said, it really is a shame. It is a shame.
Yes.
Because it's a waste of time for what's being done because we don't have a lot of time to waste on this person planet. Not anymore. We're at a point of pole shift and stuff's going down. We got to pull it together.
And it was beautiful.
You know what I mean? That's always the problem when incarnating here is to think that we have any time. There is no time.
There isn't. And this shouldn't even be a conversation, nor should it be anything that should be spoken about. Because, again, you've gone to conferences. It's amazing that when people of color do something, you're quick to attack somebody who's organizing, remember, I did this conference on my own. My money did this. I didn't beg another YouTuber I didn't do a GoFundMe to fund for my conference. FleurBrun took money out of my account. I have children, mind you. I did money out of my account to do this for our famille. Every single person who donated money for this event, they made it happen. They paid and they had enough love and they had enough respect for me and they had enough initiative to say, I want to be amongst people like myself, especially when it comes to the UFO and ET community, when there aren't people of color doing this, who aren't speaking up about this because there isn't a way for them to go to those conferences. I gave away, and I even gave a young brother an ability to go there, which is a fair exchange of helping me. And as soon as he was blown, his spot was blown, he goes and talks dastardly after he already used me up and spit me out and ask me for money after the fact. I think it's so disrespectful, and this is why brown people are not allowed at a lot of places. This is why we get villainized when we do things with other people, because you have people like this who make black people, brown people look really bad.
Calm down.
It's very disgusting.
You start to get fired up.
Yeah.
You start to sound like a Gemini or something.
No.
What's wrong with you? You got Gemini rising in your chart.
I do. Actually,
hey, something I wanted to say, and I got to keep this positive, all right?
Yes,
because
please.
something really, I think, that needs to be acknowledged is there was a presentation done there by Ada.
Oh, yes.
And Ada did an outstanding presentation.
Oh, my gosh.
It needs to be acknowledged. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I thought it was great.
Yes.
And the information she gave was very relevant and very much not mainstream. So I saw you recording some of that. I don't know if you put that up on your YouTube channel.
That's on Patreon.
If you did,
yes,
I encourage people to look at it. Check out Ada's presentation.
Oh, please do.
She's pretty bad.
Yes.
I thought it was well done.
Women, especially women of color, you should check out Ada. Ada came with fire in the yard. She gave a presentation that could make every woman and every person in there basically shiver. She did an amazing job. She came there. She had a little bit of adversity getting there because, she had to fly out. She was supposed to drive out. She flew out on Friday. She came and stayed with us in the house, and it was beautiful. She did an amazing presentation, things that I did not know. I mean, she basically taught us a few things. She basically came with like a massive, a presentation of mass of beauty. So it's beautiful. So I love the fact that big up to Ada, who came in the house, who surely did an amazing job, and we shouldn't take away from that either. And also, I want to say, I asked Ace to come there. Ace, it was his first time coming to speak. I know there were issues with, remember, conferences, people have issues with, how people show up. That happens at every conference, right, Barry? People can sometimes resonate with one speaker and maybe not resonate with another. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times it's very normal for you to have a conference. And also, Ace was a young man. I asked for him to come there. He's not a speaker. He's never been there before. He really shared what he thought was valid. And I think, I want to say that I have zero I have zero disagreement with Ace. I'm so grateful that he decided to even come. I want to make that said. There was never any attack that I put on Ace. A couple of the C stars had issues with the presentation and things like that, but by all means, there wasn't anything negative that I said about Ace. So I want to put that on record. I think it's very noble that he came out there to speak at a conference, not even knowing anyone. You know what I mean? And you know, I want to say that. So if Ace, because I know he was feeling a certain way, but there isn't anything negative I have to say about Ace. I want to say this. And Ada's not on YouTube. We have people come out. She's on my Patreon. If you listen to what she shared, it'll blow your socks off. Like, she was talking to women's coils in their hair. She was talking about sacred geometry. She brought in fire in the yard. It was amazing. You know, so let's do that.
Something worth saying too, just to keep the knowledge going here.
Yes.
All right. One of the things she brought up was the systems that are used to actually trace over symbols and how to actually unlock subconscious memories and things through the symbols.
She did.
And I kind of went ahead and tied that into what are called these internal stargates. And in the Stargate that are in the Cypher group, I posted a few of those internal stargates, which are the same type of a system using the same way of visualizing these shapes, like over your chakras and doing breaths and pranayama breaths with them. And these are things to help attend awareness.
Absolutely.
So if you're part of Cypher, that's what that pertains to. Those internal stargates. That's actually a type of warp physics.
I thought that was great. Like Ada,
just want to throw that out there, just to keep the knowledge going. We can't let all the dark talk rule everything.
Yeah, and also Ada did a fantastic share, which we're not going to give too much on what it was, because they can all go watch it on Patreon, but Ada did an incredible share on her last days of Dr. Delbert Blair, which we don't talk about. I mean, I was in tears.
Oh, it's great.
It was heartfelt. Ada really spoke to, she was actually one of the only people that actually got a chance to be with Dr. Delbert Blair in his last days. She spoke to that, and I thought, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. And I mean, like I said, it was so heartfelt. And I think a lot of times we have to allow for this type of connection, or this, you know, who would have known that? Like I made a uniformed place where we can get together and actually discuss this, where it's not being interrupted on YouTube, where I'm not sitting and talking to people over the internet. It was face to face. And a lot of people really appreciated her doing that work. So big up to Ada, because that took a lot of work for her presentation. And also, I look forward to working with her in the future. She's doing a lot of magnificent things. She has a book that she's writing right now. She came to New Orleans because it's a journey, part of what she represents as well. So big up to Ada, who showed up in the house. I think it was amazing. She did an amazing job. Amazing job.
Yeah, she really did.
Okay.
She really did.
So Barry, I'm gonna let Saki come in, because we have more receipts. We're talking about parasites today. If you're just checking in, put a like on the video. Yeah. So Saki's gonna come in and share.
For the young adults.
Yeah. So yeah. So we're gonna talk about because I think a lot of times we may have aversions to people, but there is a lack of integrity in how it shows up sometimes, even including with myself. Sometimes I just don't like people, and I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes I just don't like people. I don't like what they're doing in their life. I don't like how they show up in their life. I don't like the things that they do, and it doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't resonate with me. And I think I shouldn't be attacked for removing someone from my life that I deemed and I saw as a parasite. I didn't like them anymore, and I was right in thinking so, because as soon as I removed them from my life, they automatically went to somebody who hurt me physically and nearly killed my mother. That is what I believe. So they nearly hurt my mother. They went to somebody who, last conference, my mother almost died because a being was doing energetic work, dark work, because he was jealous and he was mad at me for blowing his spot. So this is who this being directly went to after. So if I'm wrong, Vanjie, if I'm wrong, anyone who likes this other person, why would she automatically? So you always say, FleurBrun, you jumped to the gun. You removed her because she was talking about twin flames. So you think I was wrong. So you think that somebody who's a light being, who's a good-hearted person, could go around telling people that they have naked pictures of you, that your father's dead, that's why you're acting crazy, that you never were pregnant with twins and you never lost babies, that you are basically remote viewing her. Why would I remote view somebody that I don't even like? That doesn't even make sense. Like, who is she to me? Like, I don't even have time to be with people in my life that I love. Why would I do remote viewing? See, this is the kind of cock-a-doodle stuff that's said online. So I have to make lives like this.
You know,
Yeah.
can I throw something in real quick and just interrupt you for 1 second? Just in all fairness, you know, I've heard you being accused of all this remote viewing and stealing energy and all that. And, you know, I tell you, you're the system that I've had to work on for over a year to go get a regression.
Exactly.
People aren't aware of that, so you certainly are remote viewing. But anyway, I'll stop there. And you and I know that. You know, we've been talking about it for a while. So I think for you to be accused of that is pretty extreme.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, you know, we speak about this. Yeah, we speak about this because if you're going to come for me, just based on, because it could have just been left. I don't like you. I removed you because I felt you were parasitic. And when I removed you, you showed that you're parasitic, even using my name now to get views. So I was correct. So it doesn't matter if I removed you for wearing blue socks. It didn't matter if I removed you from wearing your hair straight or curly. It didn't matter if I removed you from doing hip hop on weekends. My view and how I felt was validated right after I did it. So I feel like, you know, a lot of times you don't need to talk about it. The proof of when you release somebody will show up right away. I didn't even have a hesitation. She went directly to people right away and said to, you know, one of their admins, you know, be careful. You know, FleurBrun might hurt you. You know, she might do things to you because she removed me, so she's going to hurt you. That makes no sense. I didn't like you because you were doing exactly what you're doing now. I was validated by the behavior afterwards, and that's all it is. We had a beautiful time. I'm so appreciative of everyone and everything, and I appreciate the fact that do I have to release somebody with word? So now when I don't like somebody and I tell them 50 million times to not disrespect me, and then when they disrespect me the last time, I gotta call them and say, oh, I don't like you because you're disrespectful. No, if I tell you a couple times and I address you a couple times for being disrespectful on my site, or I see every time you hating on other people, then the last time you disrespect me, I feel like it's all fair and love and war. That's how I feel. I feel like if you are doing things, and the reason why, let's keep this real, because I think we're going to talk about everything, because she'll make a video making up something else. She said that I released, now Barry, I don't know if you know this, she said that I got her off of my page because she talked about twin flames, that she's against twin flames. She said I removed her from my cipher because she talked against my version of twin flames. No, she wasn't removed from speaking about twin flames. Why she was removed? Because she was so disrespectful to even try to come on there negatively after she knew she already didn't like me. So when she spoke about twin flames, that was just her showing that she didn't like me. She didn't get removed about that. That was just verification of why the reason I didn't like her. So let's keep that clear. No one gets, Carlos doesn't believe in twin flames. There's about 500 people on my website that don't believe in twin flames. I haven't removed them. Actually, Carlos, you don't believe in twin flames? Barry doesn't believe in twin flames. Carlos told me why he doesn't believe in twin flames. They weren't released from my life, so that's not a valid reason. That's the way that she'll create a narrative so people believe the BS and that they basically will follow that. That's a lie. I didn't like her then, and I don't like her now. Simply that. She's a parasite. I released the parasite. I did a purge. I live about that life. I did a wonderful cleansing. I did 30 days of a water fast. I went to Brazil to clear my family, and I came back, and I still didn't like her. So I removed her, period. That's what it is.
Hey, just so I'm straight here.
Yes.
You're referring to the person that posted that video?
Yeah, no, well, who? For what video? Which one?
I mean, the person you're referring to, are you referring to the person that posted that video?
Oh, yeah, her, yes.
What's their name again?
Well, no, we don't want to give her credence and have more shine come to her.
Okay.
Because she wants
what she wants. I'm kind of behind on all this. So
yeah, no, because what it is a lot of times, people want to create adversity because they want shine to their website. She wants people to hear about it because when she put her name in her video, she had more views putting my name in her video than she has just doing the stuff that she does. So the fact of the matter is, if you're not a parasite, you wouldn't still be trying to parasite off of my name. So you're still doing it because you still want to feed off of me. So why don't you just hold your light? If you're such a positive being and you're doing such great things in your life, why don't you just do them in your life? Why do you want to attach yourself to me? All I did was remove you because you're bitter, like a man that you break up with because he's been doing this. This is like, you know, when you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, Barry, and they've been doing 50 million things in your relationship that was terrible. You know, you have a boyfriend, he's been disrespecting you, or he's been doing like dirty things, cheating on you. And then the last straw is when he puts his dirty socks on the table that you just cleaned. You get rid of him. This is why she's saying that I got rid of her for twin flames. She does 50 million things that I didn't like. And the last straw, she wants to hold that to why I removed her. It's just like a boyfriend that does 50 million things wrong and he pisses you off. And the last thing he does is put his dirty socks on the table. That's like, you're just like, that's it. That's it. I don't want I don't want to be bothered with you. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
That's what happened to me all these years?
You know what
That's
I'm saying,
what happened to me all these years?
Yeah.
You finally just told me I'm too much of a perv? Oh, man, that's what's been getting me. No wonder.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you. I'm looking at you on the TV here. You're getting awful riled up.
Yeah,
You're getting awful fired up.
I'm a calm down. Let's
take it easy.
No, but let's bring in. I'm going to bring in Saki. I'm going to now bring in Saki, Barry, to kind of validate some points.
Yeah. She's one of those young adults. I enjoy talking to her. She's very on point. This would be great.
Absolutely. So Saki, I know you're on the line. Let me bring in Saki now. Hold on. Oh wait. Hold on. Okay. Okay, Saki, I'm bringing you on our line. Peace, Saki. Wait, is she there?
Peace.
Peace, C-Star. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
okay,
can.
Cool.
Hey, Mama, how are you?
Hi.
I hear you. What's happening?
Hey, everyone.
Saki in the house.
What's up?
How's it going? How's it flowing?
It's flowing. It's flowing. Fire in the yard. Fire in the yard.
Absolutely.
So let me give
I don't know. I'm over here playing, watching videos on my beta Mac.
Okay. So let me.
Barry, I want to thank you for keeping the energy grounded, because you know we could get hot. We could get real hot.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you for the conversation before I left New Orleans. It was really cool, so I appreciate you.
Yeah, we had a pretty magical time in New Orleans. It was cool.
Thank you.
Food was good too.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so
I think I left my keys.
Okay. So Saki actually came to the conference. She's one of the people that have been part of Cypher for a long time. I've known Saki for a few years. It's one of our younger sea stars. She shows up beautifully in the world. Actually, she's done some really great work, doing some hearth houses, learning how to farm, right? Farming, building houses from scratch. She's not just, she's really immersed herself in aspects of, learning how to live cohesively with the planet and how it plays into how, we show up in the world. So you've done that. I love that you traveled. I remember we talked about it years ago when you were on your way to go do it too.
Yeah, I ended up going to Southern Arizona and building earthback dome homes and cob houses, and had a little run-in with some other energies as well that got me a little, it grew my discernment a lot.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
So Saki, when you came, the masquerade was coming and everyone was showing up and coming in. And let me just ask this question. When you came to the masquerade, how did you feel the energies were when you came in? How did you feel about coming to the house? How did you feel about joining with the other sea stars?
Before or when I got there?
Like when you got there or before, even before. Maybe you could talk about both, I guess.
Well, okay, so if I'm talking about before, I don't know if I should talk about the road getting to New Orleans, because that's when a lot of the, inception started happening. But I will say, okay, before we do that, I will say, just to start, that the conference was absolutely amazing. And I want to also say that, even after coming back to Maryland, I noticed activations in my site and upgrade in my frequency and in how I carry myself and in my impact on other people. Earlier, Barry said something that definitely rings true for me. He said that he has hyper awareness. And I feel like I do as well. And since coming back from the conference, it's even more clear. I did a water fast yesterday,
Yes.
and I'm back on my fast again today.
Good.
And I'm probably going to continue my fast throughout the rest of this Chicana or Mayan week.
Very nice.
And yeah, I'm really grateful to have come and to connect with so many different people of different multicultures and backgrounds,
Yes.
and also different like just frequencies. I really feel like we're all lighthouses in our respective areas, and it was like, you know, I feel like our locations are our charges, or like, you know, our responsibility to be lighthouses in these locations. So the conference was definitely like, I'm not on the clock. I'm not on the galactic clock right now. I'm with my family.
That's right.
And even the way that we navigated when things showed up really made me feel, because usually, you know, I'm a tourist, so usually I'm the one that's like, what's that? Who's that? You know, what's going on?
Yes.
But when the situation happened at the metaphysical shop and Carlos stood in and really made me feel safe and comfortable, and like I was around divine masculine energy that didn't have to puff out its chest or be loud. Because I noticed that like the dynamics between divine masculine and divine feminine energy is like we tend to get super heated. And then the divine masculine is like, okay, just ground it, just ground it, just ground it.
Yes.
Just ground it. It's okay. It's okay.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful how he showed up. And like, even when we went to, because you know, that character Baron said that I set you up, like I set people up, like I literally must have paid the crackhead to go in there and approach you. I mean, that's absurd.
Well, it's interesting that Baron would say that, because Baron wouldn't know. Because when Baron came, by the time that they came, the situation had already happened.
Exactly.
And we were like in the back of the store, and and this is in alignment with my hyper awareness. When they came in, you know, they're like in the back, not saying anything, not asking. You know, if these are alpha males, wouldn't they ask what's going on with the women? Why are the women upset? What's happening? What was said? You know, where did this person go? He sat in the back and he was like, you know, part of my friend, he was like, I'm too high for this shit. And then he like left, and Ace, his girlfriend, stayed.
Yes.
So it's interesting that he would say that. He also called me he called me like a venomous snake or something like that, which I thought was like hilarious, because at least with the situation with Ace, it was public. I said I said how I felt to Ace on a public platform, and gave Ace ample opportunity to come on and respond. And Baron was inside the chat and didn't say anything. Is that what an alpha male does?
Exactly.
You know, you have the opportunity to speak how you feel publicly. You don't. You go on this other person's platform and sneak this in the comments using a picture that's not even your face. So
thank you.
You know,
it's amazing. Well, but it also shows because it shows but what we're doing when we're talking, because I want to stay to the topic. We're talking about parasitic releases. I got a 1-for-3 special, meaning I got one parasite out, which revealed all other parasites, which is perfect. And I want to show people that when you release parasites, the first thing that they do is they basically will be more venomous and validate why you released the parasite. So you get validation always when you release. If a parasite isn't a parasite, they will still show up divinely on their own without connection to you or without inversion to you. But when they do that, because Baron was called out, and you're absolutely right, you spoke on the platform, and also Ace spoke on the platform because he wanted to talk in behalf of himself. He did. He wasn't afraid to do so. He did it. I think it was probably the most healthy exchange I've seen when two beings are adverse in a kind of sort of energetic way. So I felt it was appropriate. But it was amazing that when someone like Baron he had an opportunity, because he calls everybody else betas. It's very beta-like to sit and hear yourself being talked about the things that you did and be non-culpable, and then go to another parasitic person on their platform because you feel like they want that, and say things that were totally untrue and not even denote your part in what happened. It's very interesting.
Exactly. And he, after the live, Ace sent me a message on Instagram apologizing and thanking me and tell the family this, tell the family that.
Very much so.
And then yesterday it comes out that he makes a video about the live also attacking me. I never responded to his message, so I feel like whatever video he made afterwards was because I didn't respond to his message.
Okay.
And it was also after Baron, comes out and tries to, just like, okay, you didn't get the validation that you want, so now you want to switch sides. Like when you're walking down the street and the guy's like, oh, hey, trying to talk to you, and then you don't talk to him, and now you're like this ugly thing, walking past him.
Oh.
So they're very weak energies.
Oh, I didn't know that. So Ace made a video. So Baron was on that. So he accepts Baron, knowing what Baron did. Interesting.
I don't know if he was on that video.
Okay.
And I actually haven't seen the video that Ace made.
Oh, right.
So Vicky said that she brought it up yesterday, but we didn't want to speak on it because of the portal. But but yeah, I don't know. They're weak energies in this equation, and we can get to the actual conversation.
Okay, so let's go into what happened previously. So you came to the masquerade. You look beautiful, very indigenous. Yeah. You came up and
thank you.
And everybody was enjoying themselves, kind of chatting it up a little bit. And you pulled me aside to talk to me. And was I aware of what you were going to tell me? Let's state this first, because there's
absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. You were not aware at all.
Okay. So I wasn't aware of what you were going to share to me previous to you sharing it with me.
No.
Okay. So when we went outside and you talked to me, can you kind of break down what was said about what that character, we won't say her name because she's already getting enough parasitic views from my name. So let's make sure we're not feeding her. What did this being say to you when you told me, you said, there was somebody working against you before the conference. It was a lot of aversion, but there was one particular person who was working against you. Can you speak exactly what you discussed with this person? And how you
absolutely.
How she came to know you and what you were doing for her. Kind of play that all into it because it's very relative.
Yeah, of course. Is the echo in this space? No. I can move to a different space.
No, you're good. On this side, you're good.
Okay, cool. So I've had this person on my Facebook from Cypher, and originally they put out like a text post on their page looking for filmmakers. So I work for a production company here in Maryland, and I'm a filmmaker. And I was excited at that because, okay, in my mind, and again, I didn't know that this person was removed from Cypher, that there was any beef, any of that. So on her end, right?
Because I didn't say, I'm sorry, because I didn't, let me say this like this. So I never told anyone why she was removed, that she was removed. So I didn't talk about her negatively that anybody knew about previously at all. So because you didn't know about it.
Good, how are you?
Oh, no, I was saying, so you didn't know that she was removed. I never talked about her badly when I removed her. You didn't know anything about that.
No, I didn't even know that she was removed.
Okay.
Because I'm also not that active on Facebook, so I didn't really sometimes I come in, pop in on Cypher, and I read whatever's posted, or I'll post a couple things and I pop off. But I'm not that invested to notice people that are missing.
Yes.
So yeah, and I was excited about the opportunity to work with her. She let me know from the jump that she couldn't pay me in money, but that we could do barter things. And to me, I was just excited to be working with content that was more on frequency, because typically the only things that I do that's in our realms are my own projects for my own poetry or my own film projects. So it's okay, cool. I don't mind just helping you out and editing something real quick. They're really simple edits. So a couple of weeks I had went, I think 2 weeks had went by of me just working on her edits and, us texting over WhatsApp. And something kept telling me not to mention Cypher or anything like that because it really didn't have any relevance to what we was talking about or what we were doing. Yeah. And I also want to state that when I first started, when I first had an initial conversation with her about working with her, she told me her vision for, where she wanted to go and all of that. I didn't get any energy of what it turned out to be at this point. Everything felt really copacetic. I was down with it, it was cool. So about 2 weeks leading up to the conference, I let her know, I'm going to try to have these edits done for you by this date. I was really booked with a lot of shoots, and I let her know, I'm going to be going to FleurBrun's conference. So I'm probably, while I'm going for that week, I'm probably not going to be able to, get to you with any edits because I'm going to be, out of town. And So she said, okay, that's fine. We were like on a phone call. I texted that to her later, like a couple of days later, we got on a phone call about some edits. So the beginning of the phone call was us, was her giving me notes on edits and me sending over a new draft for a video.
Yes.
And then she's like, oh, I don't know if I should tell you this. I don't know if I should. I'm so conflicted right now. And I'm like, oh, here we go. What is it? And it's like, it baited me. And I gave her permission to tell me whatever it was she wanted to tell me. And she started to say, she started by saying, be careful at the conference.
Yes. Because
there's a lot of other energies around you that people don't get to see. And the conversation in total was about like an hour or maybe two long. And I really wanted to hear her out because as a tourist, I know that like, loyal to somebody, I'm loyal to somebody.
Yes.
And I wanted to fully hear her perspective. Absolutely. Because I don't believe that there is a right or wrong or correct or incorrect. And I told her this too. I believe that whatever she feels like she's experiencing is something that she really feels like she's experiencing. Absolutely. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And during the conversation, she goes on to say how at first it was like she was insinuating things, but then because I watched Offset's videos and I knew that Luna was coming, I just was saying it and she was like confirming it. Yes. So one second.
Okay.
So she was saying, Fleur isn't as astute as you think she is. She works a lot in the shadow realms, and basically saying that you hold women hostage in the ethers. Other people have said. There was a point in time where I did have a dream of you, yes, like just sitting like on a couch inside of a house. But I let her know, I said, oh, that kind of feels like a dream that I had, but I didn't get any like negative feeling from it. I didn't get any insidious behavior from it. And then she kept saying, oh, there's so many layers. There's so many layers to this. You have no idea. When she was kicked out of the group or whatever, she was saying like, she did mention that it was before soliciting people, but then she also made it seem like it was because she was speaking against your view on twin flames.
Yes.
And then she said it made her look sideways at the other people that was kicked out of the group. So she started contacting them, and how Ja Vega, you were the one that was really, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say his name, but you were the one that was really, approaching this being, and there was other people who they were like passing nudes around, and when she brought up nudes, she was giggling, and I was just like, what? Like, because her original point was something's going to happen at the conference.
Yes.
And in that original point, she also made it seem like Offset made that video about, body snatching and centaur beings and at a party about the masquerade ball at the conference. Because I was like, so what you trying to say? Like, Offset not coming because she feel like, there's going to be beings. Because I watched Offset's video. Yeah. So are you saying that Offset saying that, there's going to be beings outside of the conference or outside of where the masquerade is waiting to inspect us or whatever? And she was basically saying, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And she made that video because of me. And it's not just...
Hold that thought too, because what's interesting about that, I didn't even equate the two. Hold on. I'm going to go to when Offset texts me, because I think there's a lot of things being said and we can't verify it, because I want to make sure everything's valid and verifiable. Because if she's saying that the video was regarding me, and that is the case, I can actually talk to a text, because we like to release text now. Texting, nothing's private anymore. So I feel like if it's in a text, we can all share it. Let me see. Hold on. Unfortunately, I attend. Okay, wait. There was a video. Okay, I can't find it now. Yeah, I was looking for a text talking about the beings coming through. Twin flames. Okay. So the last video I had a dream camera travel stand protection. Then I watch live. You mentioned. Okay. I always like to get receipts. Hold on. No, it's interesting because I felt last night. Okay. Okay. No, I can't find it. There was like a text where I think she was talking about the dark beings to me. Go ahead. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to get about. I want to do timestamps.
And I want to state that, and as I go through this, right, I want to state that my conclusion after getting off the phone with her was that she just was saying a lot of things to discredit you. So I don't even know if she even talked to these people. Okay. Because she also told me on the phone, because I was like, so when she said that, when she brought up Offset and was saying that, why she wasn't coming, I was like, but from what I saw, Offset wasn't coming because her daughter had a birthday. And she was like, that was a lie. Like she said that was a lie out of her mouth. It wasn't an insinuation or any of that.
Okay, wait. Let's go back. I want to make sure that's on record. Because Offset texted me, so we want to make sure we're on site, because this is what happens when you yell people's names out because you want backup. She's been the only one mentioning Offset. So what did she say when you said Offset? Because Offset told me that she's not coming because of her daughter. What did she say about Offset? She said what? Say that out loud again so people.
She said that was a lie out of her mouth. She said that was a lie, like it was a smokescreen. But that she really wasn't coming because she had been talking to Maitreya. Oh wow, my bad. That she had been talking to this girl, and that like when she was talking to her, she just was adverse to come into the conference because she felt like there was some portal snatching some body snatching that was going to take place, and there was some, something bad was going to happen. So she was using this birthday as a way to get out of it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's really...
Well, I'm glad you stated that. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry, because I want to make sure I stay on point. This is interesting that you said that.
No, yeah.
Because according to her, she said that, and she's saying that's the reason why she didn't come. But on her video, she said that I am blacklisting her. Wouldn't that seem like that's blacklisting? Going to someone who you asked to go to their conference, who's another notable YouTuber, and saying to them, don't come because you'll be body snatched. Doesn't that sound like blacklisting? This is before my message to us that's saying why I didn't have her in my thing anymore. So this is predating this. So someone's calling me a blacklister, but it sounds like they blacklisted me previous to them claiming that I blacklished them. So that sounds like blacklisting to me.
Yeah, and to let's continue here. Okay. Because she also now see this is in my discerning mind. She was saying she was mentioning aspects of her conversation with Offset directly by name. But when I asked her about so are you saying this is why Luna's not coming either? She said yes, but she never. She didn't go into detail enough for me to believe that was the truth. Okay. Personally.
So she also
moving on in the conversation.
Oh yes, go ahead. No, I just want, because I don't know if they hear you. She also alluded to the fact that Aluna wasn't coming because she warned her as well. So she said this out her mouth. She's alluded to that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but also, I don't know. Again, repeat this part as well. I don't know if that's true because the level of detail that she went in with Offset was not the level of detail that she went in with Aluna. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, all right, you probably just hyping it up. No, she's a Gemini. So she probably you're like, all right, you probably just hyping that up when you add that in there.
Yeah, I don't think Aluna talks to her.
So,
I can also text Aluna and ask.
Yeah, I don't think she did either. I don't think Aluna had anything to do with it, to be honest.
No, me either.
Right. So moving on in the conversation, because I'm very just skeptical, but I'm hearing her. I'm not and I made that a point to repeat that. I hear you, but I'm not receiving what you're saying, but I hear you. Yeah. And she goes on to say that one thing that you say a lot, Fleur, is that you're very astute and you're a woman of a certain age, and it was those kinds of microaggressions that she would repeat. She's not as astute as you think she is. She always saying that she's a woman of a certain age, but there's so many people that have issues with her that are afraid to speak on it. And I'm just like, okay, I don't understand. And then she goes on to say that, you were never pregnant, and that she said that you were never pregnant, and that you hope to be pregnant in a certain time frame,
Oh.
but it didn't happen, and that there's so many layers to it.
Okay.
There's so many layers to it.
So she said I wasn't pregnant. So who is she talking
She
to?
said out of her mouth
Yeah.
that you are not pregnant.
Okay. So this is a woman that lives in England that doesn't know me personally, who can't validate who and what I was, or is telling people that I wasn't pregnant when I was. She didn't talk to anybody else to get this information. She's just making this up as she's going because that's a lie. So thank you for verifying that she said
Exactly.
that. Yeah. How do you say something?
90 And I want to say that.
Yes.
I want to say that the longer she talked, the more she kept saying things that was away from her original point of the conference not being safe, and that was more. That made it very clear to me that her issue was very personal with you.
Yes.
She attacked your pregnancy. She attacked your character. She made statements about you remote viewing her. She said that there was some guy with the last name Melchizedek that she had met in person, but that she could feel you on him, remote viewing her while she was with him. It was a lot of really things of that nature. And then eventually she kept coming back to the fact, which I feel like is her actual point, the fact that she's upset that you were not uplifting her platform when she started to come out and do it.
Yes.
Because she said, she never talked about me and my mental health and out in public. She never wanted to have me on and talk about it. She never wanted to talk about my platform and big me up, or for lack of a better term, and things of that nature. And all of these issues, this is what she said verbatim, all of these issues started happening once I started bringing myself out more. I don't know if she's talking about, promoting herself or just her YouTubes in general.
10
but
seconds.
It's just a simple case of Gemini Sagittarius jealousy, if you ask me.
Wow. Okay. It sounds about right. And you know what's interesting? Hindsight is always 20/20, because one of the reasons why I did remove her is because every time I brought out Nora, because Nora, big up to Nora Sensei, I actually posted her video on my page. As soon as I would do so, there would be a message from her in my inbox. So thank you for validating a further truth of a parasite, because I felt like she was mad that I was uplifting Nora's site and she was hurt that I wasn't doing it to her. Thank you for verifying that, because I always felt it, but I'm grateful to be able to validate it. This is also a testament to everyone. Whenever someone is removed from your life, they will show you who they are. If I felt that way and I was wrong, it wouldn't show up later that was the truth. So I'm actually grateful for the reveals. Thank you so much for sharing that. Go ahead, Saki.
Yeah, a lot of the just things that she was saying about you were to try to make me wary about coming to the conference.
Yes.
And, she was saying, well, you're meant to be there because you're meant to see, and you're meant to really see. And I'm like, what, see and report back to you? I'm not doing that. And I was actually, I was upset with myself because I didn't shut it down sooner, but I really wanted to hear all of what she had to say to see if there was any validity to it.
Yes.
And I think that, honestly, the way she was popping around, the first point was that the conference is unsafe and you have dark beings attached to you, and you are a dark being, and she's unsure if you're aware of it or not. She had a dream that you came to her in the astral realm, apologizing for feeding on women and apologizing for being mean to her.
Oh, wow.
And the last point of what was it? You not uplifting her platform, and then everything in between, the jab at you and your pregnancy, the jab at, the other guy that was feeding off your energy, and the news going around, and all the other people that she tried to say to validate her perspective. It just, to me, just was like, this is completely a personal problem, and you're trying to, deter other people from having a beautiful experience because you probably really just want to come, and also your feelings are just hurt.
That's it. She was upset that I removed her. That's basically what it is. And it's like a mate that she broke up with that wants to ruin everybody else's thought of you because you had a problem with them. So, I really appreciate it.
And there was a point in the conversation. There was a point in the conversation where she was listing off. She was like, yeah, because I'm not the only one that has this issue. Zanji has this issue too. I'm like, isn't that the person that did the artwork? Yeah. And she's like, yeah. She's like, yup, her too. And it's just like, and I really didn't like how when she brought up these supposed nudes that were going around about you, she was laughing about it. Or, you know, like when she would bring up the fact that you weren't quote unquote pregnant, it was like something that it just felt like an infection, you know, like, and it just felt like a duplicitous Gemini being a duplicitous Gemini trying to, you know, weave this narrative and perception. And at the end of the conversation, she made sure to bring it back to the edits that I could do for her for free. You know, and after that, when I got the phone, I was thinking, like, you know, what's the timeline here? This is a person who has greatly assisted me in raising and healing my divine feminine energy, and having like a person come from a place of wisdom. And then here's another person who is I'm doing work for free that I didn't mind doing. But in the middle of that, you're trying to get me to turn against a person or be wary of a person who's done nothing but helped and assisted me. You know what I mean? And then you want to bring it back to what I can do for you for free. To me, it's like, oh, okay, I see what this is.
Okay. So basically, they were leeching off of you for free, but FleurBrun is wrong for thinking that they're parasitic. And really, the issue they had was me uplifting other people's platform, but not theirs. It all goes back to that. Now, listen. Dreams are only valid. That is not receipts. Having dreams, I have dreams about people that aren't true. You having dreams about someone does not denote their darkness. If I was a dark being, it would show up. Did you feel like my children were dark? Let me ask you, because you were there. Did you feel like I was emitting darkness, Saki? Did you feel like I was trying to take over your mind?
you know me and your daughters are homegirls for life.
Thank you.
So
Yes,
that's negative. They were so beautiful and dancing, and when y'all first came out of the masquerade, they spoke to everybody. They were very inclusive, very humble, very mature. So no,
so my
I didn't feel like they were dark at all.
So my daughters showed up. So usually I always like to bring this up because a testament of someone's energy will show up in their offspring. So you didn't feel that. Did you feel like I was hurting anyone there? Did I curse anyone out when I was there? Did when we were sitting down talking, did you feel like I was dark? Did you feel like I was trying to hurt people mentally? Did you have any feelings that I was trying to get in your mind or infect you? Can you speak to that?
Absolutely. Look, like I had zero indication of that. The entire conference was like a big family reunion. We were like on your bed talking till like 5 a.m. in the living room talking till 5 a.m. every night. You had like at least 30 minutes with every person there every single day. So there was nothing, and I'm so glad that I did come. And I'm so glad that because I made it a point to not tell anybody of that conversation until I saw you, which is why when I finally told you, I was like, you know, Ninaru had to come over and hold me, our little empath, because she's like, I could feel like she didn't even, me and Ninaru had been in New Orleans for 2 days at that point. Yes. I didn't even tell her. I didn't tell anybody of that conversation until I saw you because I knew what it was.
I appreciate it.
And when we got to the conference, every single day was like I was at a family reunion. There was none of that. And even the things that we did show up, we handled as a family in the light, as a family.
Absolutely. So, you know, I do believe I have dark entities, but I think the dark entities are part of the internet. I think that the dark beings, I absolutely agree, Vanjie. I think I have dark beings connected to me via the internet. I think many of the dark beings are the ones who wish me unwell. I think they attach to me in the ether, and I think that being that your friend went to directly and said they had naked pictures of me and that my dead babies weren't dead, I think that friend that you have, I think she very well is connected to that dark being that is trying to connect to me to get back.
I don't understand why. I don't understand why, Vanjie, you are continuous. I don't understand why you keep saying that she has dark beings to her. Did you not just hear me say what your friend just said about her? That was a lie. Like she was on the phone with me and said that she was never pregnant. Why? Like, is that not a dark being to you? Is that not like who talks about someone having a miscarriage? Like who does that?
Okay.
You know, who does that? Who laughs about having another grown woman's news to somebody else in a way to try to make that person seem less valid? She was like saying things that Fleur says, but in a very like hater way. She's not as astute as you think she is. She's not as seasoned as you think she is. Why would she say that? You get what I'm saying? Like, why would how is that illuminated? And even if Fleur did have those attachments, is this person illuminating those attachments or illuminating themselves? I don't understand your point. Like you're saying the same thing over and over and over again. And yes, I think that you may be a seer, but your sight, I feel, is very limited because I met this woman, her family, and everybody in person. Like these people are not like, I don't know, you want something else, yo.
But that's
you
the
want
thing
something
about
else.
it. You can have dreams all day, but people can verify when they meet me. That's why I'm having people talk who actually were there. People can have dreams about me. Maybe they're adverse to me. Do we ever think that the beings that are connected are the beings that are adverse? That sometimes we're not in link. A lot of times, my energy does not match other people's energy, and it could show up dark to them. So that's valid. I think I absolutely have.
And that's valid.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. I think it's valid. I think you aren't wrong for that, but you are attaching that to me. If I was a dark being and I had dark beings attached to me, my children wouldn't show up well. My household would be chaotic. The people in my life wouldn't love me and be great and be wonderful to me and be amazing. My abundance would be limited. I am grateful for the abundance that I have, the credence and the wonderful vineyard that I created to meet some of the most divine beings. We stayed up every night. Me, Saki, and other girls lying on the bed until 5 a.m. because we didn't want to be apart from each other. We were so close. So what was dark about the conference? Your friend said that there was going to be attacks at the conference. What attack happened at the conference? We were lying on bed, talking, loving, and being a party to each other. Where was the possession? Who's possessed from the conference now? What plane dropped out of the sky?
Also,
that was somebody was on? Yes.
Not to cut you off, Laura, but also, isn't it also an indication of this person's frequency? I think you might have said it before, when the people that were averse to the conference went to that person's platform and felt comfortable at that person's platform, and she asking Baron all about your personal life. You get what I'm saying? It's like, what? Like, don't birds of a feather flock together? Like, I don't really. What's the logic here? Like, what's the point? It keeps saying that you have darkness attached to you when the way you show up is vetted in real life.
Absolutely. And I say all this to say, let's keep
and
it
like Selu mentioned.
Yeah.
Selu mentioned something that I want to bring back too. That just how our weather, and if we're, what do you say? He says, if we're seasoned beings, then shouldn't we know that the weather changes, and so do our cycles of people? And I think that also ties into what you just said about, maybe the way your light shows up to some people refracts as darkness. Absolutely. And that's just a testament to their misalignment. That's not really a testament to who you are at your center.
Absolutely.
We all are villains in someone else's story.
Absolutely. I'm a villain in my ex-Nazi. He would have messages of mass destruction if he talked to anyone. And that's what I'm saying. These beings were adverse. There wasn't anything wrong with me disconnecting from someone who I didn't feel in sync with me anymore. But there's something very wrong in her creating a narrative and not taking responsibility of her jealousy, her feeling like I wasn't bigging up her platform, her being jealous of me having a connection with other people. That's a problem. Or going to people who are part of what I was trying to do as far as having Ozette or Luna, having them come and going to them to make sure they weren't coming because you can't possibly see me shine in a way that's disconnected from you. That's dark. So if we're going to talk about the dark beings that are connected to me that aren't showing up in my personal life, aren't showing up with my children gratefully, but are showing up on that person's personal life, how they show up in the world, and why they have to make multitudes of asking for financial assistance from others because they're lacking abundance, because they're really not that healthy. And abundance comes to those who show up in the world healthy. That's a testament to that as well.
And before we even had that conversation, one of the amendments that she had to the video I was editing for her, it's like, okay, yeah, can you put this ad at the readings? And the wording was like, if you want to, I can't remember it verbatim, but the effect was that, like, if you want to know who you are, come get a reading. And I ended up changing the wording of it because it's like, no, nobody has to go to you to know who they are. If they want assistance in something, then maybe sure.
Yeah.
But like, this was before she even said anything about you. This is like while I'm doing edits for her, So it's like, I also agree with what you're saying. I say that to say that I agree with what you're saying about her intentions with siphoning money from people under the guise of giving spiritual counsel. And I think that that's something that we have an issue with in this community. You have people who there's no code of ethics, or there's no way to really verify if a person is gifted enough to be able to give you a reading or to be able to do energy work on you. And I think that's where we all need to grow our discernment and our sovereignty and do the work ourselves, like we always say.
I agree. And also, we got to take in consideration, would you want someone to do work on you and tell them your personal business, but as soon as they don't like you anymore, they will go and find dark beings to demonize you and talk about your life? This is why I say to people, always watch who's reading you. You're going to go to a reader that in the first mark that they think that you don't like them or that they have issues with you, they will go and tell people all kinds of things about you, personal or otherwise. The fact that she would even think it's okay, if she's a divine being, to say that she's looking at naked pictures, which I haven't seen yet. Like I said, I welcome naked pictures of me to show up online. Let the gates begin. I want to show them on my wall. If you have naked pictures, that's the receipt you should be showing. If I wasn't pregnant, I want you to show that receipt as well. Yes.
Honestly, I believe that she was lying, because when she said it very fast and I slowed her down. I said, how did the girl who's like the Dom girl, I said, how did this person and how did this, the other guy, how did they even get a picture of her and how did you get the picture or whatever? She was like laughing, like, I don't even know. I'm like, what?
Let's get it in and popping. If you make those statements, those grandiose statements, just like people wanted me to verify why I did that to her, and I'm telling you that she was doing this previous to me even talking to Offset, and me telling Offset had nothing to do with her. It had for me protecting a friend that I thought was a friend that I had been talking to online that most people don't know, and just saying to her, listen, I want to let you know that this person may come to you because I disengaged with them because they were trying to take advantage of my platform. That's all I said. If that's the only receipt she shows, that's crazy to me that people would even, actually, I'm grateful for the people that align with her. Let me state that. Because it shows a level of lack of discernment. Mm-hmm. It also shows that there are people out here who will villainize a woman because they don't like her. If you don't like me, it's all good in the hood. You aren't supposed to like everybody online. But make sure that you have a valid reason to saying certain things about someone. When someone loses babies and that's banter for jokes and sharing that with dark beings who did energetic work against me.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something that someone thinks is healthy and you want to get a reading from someone who could demonize a person that she was okay being in my platform, speaking well of me until she was removed, and now I'm a demon. So which is it? So why were you part of my platform if I was a demon? If you felt that I was awful, why would you even stay on the platform? Why were you upset being removed from a demon?
If you've seen attachments that are dark
why do you
for years, why would you stay in this space?
Yeah, why would you want to be a part of somebody who's a demon? Why would you be a part of somebody who's devilish or remote views you? Like, what reason would I have to remote view you? I'm not attracted to women, and I'm not attracted to you. So if I'm going to do any remote viewing, best believe it would be a being that I would be in alignment with. Why would I remote view? I don't even do these things.
Right.
So I'm just saying, when people have to be rational, like, what reason would I have to remote view someone? I don't do that, but the being she's aligned with does do that. That dark being that I disattach with, that uses women and does energetic, dark, dastardly things, he does that. So why would you accuse me of doing something that the being that you would connect to? And you have Baron on your page, you have Jazzy G on your page, a whole bunch of other parasites. That goes to show who you're aligned with. And I'm grateful. I'm so happy to have had this reveal. And what's even more beautiful is that we didn't have a chance to have these dark beings with us. We enjoyed ourselves. We're actually going to do it again. I made up a decision. Someone talked to me and they said, don't stop because of these beings. Don't stop doing what you're doing because other beings. Because really the conference in itself and how people walked away from it was really what's the testament to it. That's all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time you have something, I'm coming out. Like,
we're going to do the galactic.
Because I had such a great time and I met so many amazing people.
Absolutely.
And it was the break that I needed. And I'm still like, I have a lot of clarity on the timeline that I want and the lifestyle that I want to have.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. I'm grateful.
That I'm going to have.
Let me say this. I'm so grateful to have met you because remember, I loved when I met you in person. Like, I don't get a chance a lot of times. That's why I make these meetings, because really I want to meet you in person. And you were just as lovely, just as beautiful, and you're part of the younger set. So it humbles me that you would even want to attend something that, I'm doing. So I'm grateful for that. I thank you to, and really just you showing up and teaching, and also you spending time with my little people. I mean, they speak about you every day because I wanted my little people to be a party to something and see their mother show up in the way that I do with integrity, and they love you. Like you gave these, my eldest a bracelet and she wears it every day, and they remember you because you represent an aspect of them and how they don't necessarily feel right in their environment because they feel like the different ones. But, you gave them a beautiful embracing. And also when you girls were dancing, they felt so in sync with you dancing in the middle of the floor. They felt free. So I thank you for that.
Yes, those are my sisters.
That to me, that mattered. Yeah, that's
those are my little sisters, for sure.
So I thank you for that, Mama. I guess, hold on. Let's see who else is on the line. Okay, try to call. Oh, wait. Okay, so let me...
Okay, yeah, put me back in the queue. I'm going to go back into work.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I love it. And I appreciate, and let me say this. I appreciate the transparency, and you didn't have to tell me anything. You could have just let it go and just keep it, but you let me know because...
I'm a Taurus. I did have to tell you.
I love, well, that's true. That's true. I love you Tauruses. You shared it with me, and it allowed me to see from a different angle because also I have to verify that I'm not wrong in certain things because I'm not too big to be wrong. But what it was is that this being wasn't removed because she did one thing. It was a plethora of things that were overwhelming, and you validated that what I felt. Because like I said... Yeah,
the things that she said to me is like, even if you was wrong in removing her, listen to the things that she said to me, like, what?
That's how she always felt. That's how she always felt about me. And it's good and that's why I say when we talk about parasites or vampires or energy vampires, the one way that you want to validate is after you remove somebody from even your personal space, they will show you who they truly are. They will let you know who they are based on their behavior. Because if she was so love and light, she couldn't attach to someone who did harm to my family. She wouldn't feel in alignment with it. She couldn't have a being like Baron who came to the thing, who came for free, because listen, there's been times I don't get along with somebody, but I won't let someone talk who did something wrong to somebody else. I'd be like, listen, y'all, you ain't gonna come in here being dirty when you did dirt too. So if she just wanted anyone who's adverse to me to talk on it. And let me state this. There was somebody, Jazzy G did a live being all messy because that's how she gets down. She was saying there was a host of people who left Cypher. The only people that leave Cypher are people that want to leave there, but there hasn't been a host of people who leave because they do enjoy where they're at. The only person that was mostly relieved in the last couple days was that being, and she's bitter and she's mad. But people stay on Cypher because they have a level of connectiveness. It's not a cult. It's not anything. Nobody's hanging out doing candles, blowing up, doing dark magic. There isn't anybody doing that. These are moms, dads, abuelas on Cypher. It's crazy that because you're not a party to it, you want to say so much dirt. But when you were a party to it, it was all kiki and all good. Okay, keep it real.
Right. Yeah. So why wasn't it a digital cult when you were a part of it?
Yeah, it wasn't a cult when she's a party to it. Now it's a cult only because you're not a party to it. Watch parasites show themselves. She not only showed herself, she spoke her own truth, and it allowed us to see her. So I'm grateful. So thank you, my love. I so appreciate you calling in. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna put you back.
No worries. Thank you. I love you. Talk to you soon.
Peace. Okay, Barry, are you there? Barry, you there?
I'm still here.
Wow. So let's raise the frequency a little bit because I know people are trying to raise the level of awareness here. Okay, hold on. People are texting at the same time. Okay. So Barry, what do you think about what's being shared?
Well, I'd say this much. I was going to go and take the day at ease and go see the new Terminator movie.
Ooh, I want to go see. Yeah, tell me how.
But I think this is probably more explosive and more action than I'm going to see in that movie.
Yeah, and we don't want to.
And I will say something else too. Yeah. I will say something else too. When it comes down to all these people that are just on the internet now, so easily calling themselves seers and psychics and mediums. And I'll tell you, there is a big difference because every medium is a psychic, but every psychic is not a medium.
That's true.
And I think that needs to be acknowledged. And I hear so many people saying that we're all psychic to a great degree.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of how much we want to try to access it. There's some of these people calling themselves seers, and I've met them in person, and they can't see. If something will be really going on somebody's energy field, or there's another being in the room, a dead person perhaps, and they can't see it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So just be aware of who these people that you're getting readings from, and if they really have the ability that they say they have.
Yes.
It's easy to sit behind a keyboard and bake some full caca.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's very interesting that a lot of times when people are trying to make money off of YouTube, or they want to try to utilize, the spiritual community as a come up, they always go into the algorithm. So whatever, if it's reading cards, they'll do it. If it's doing astrology, they'll do it. If it's doing psychic readings, they'll do it. They'll do whatever in an algorithm. So you got to be mindful. I've talked about this before. Not everybody, like you said, not everybody who's psychic can see everything. And I'm not saying that people can't see things, but when you make general judgments on people based on one thing and not seeing around the whole perspective, that's a problem. Okay, I'm not perfect. I don't sit here high on a pedestal. But what I will say is that I created a wonderful, beautiful conference. This is the second year in a row with some amazing people I had amazing speakers. That shouldn't be taken. That shouldn't be dirtied up or muddied up because of this. And I feel like every time we do something special, there's always someone to try to bring it to another level. And everything that I've done as far as this conference and as far as Cypher was with well intent, meaning that I'm not perfect in anything, but by all means, I have a right to have people a party to my life that I want, and I have a right to disperse the people that I think are energetically out of alignment with me. And let me state this, no one should be attacked from disregarding for people that they feel are not good for them. That is wrong. So even if all this is said and done, just the fact of the matter, you have a right to disengage with people based on your own frequency. You shouldn't be made to feel badly. You shouldn't be made to be demonized because you don't want to be a party to someone. And you shouldn't have to explain things when people are perpetual line steppers. If someone's perpetually hurting you or talking dirt about you or having mad negative feelings about you or hating on others, why should you have to babysit them and then further have to connect to them and speak and baby them and say, oh, this is why you've been removed? No, if they're such seers, they should have known why they were being removed. They should have known this was coming, and they should have known that this at the end of the day would come to a head. You can't do that. And then you add other big YouTubers in.
Even more encompassing than that specific situation is be aware when people start calling themselves seers and clairvoyants, and when they start using these gimmicks, the gimmicks that are in the media. And the main one right now is, I had a dream about this.
Oh, the dreams. That's another thing.
One. And then the other one is this. The other one is this. Oh no, whoa, it's just getting good now. This one is almost this is almost just as standard as going to the grocery store. Oh, they have attachments.
I mean,
they've got dark entities are following them around. And then the next is, they're stealing people's energy.
Exactly.
Those are like the 3 or 4 things that are just standard that they all say as typically as someone says, I'm abducted by reptilians.
Yes.
Oh, it's reptilians. Absolutely. And most people have not even seen one of those things, but they believe that because, hey, David Icke talks about it.
Absolutely.
Wilcox talks about it.
And just to respond
so anyway, I'll be quiet there.
No.
Just be very careful. I mean,
the
amount of charlatans that I see that flock to these groups of the ufology and of the New Age groups, it's scary because it's a field that brings the people that are mentally ill, those that are just absolute sociopathic liars.
Yes.
And then it brings the people that are just are real. But I mean that's like you have to decipher in between all this other crap to get to those people. And it really becomes a burnout, It
does, and it's really tragic. But also to speak to, I think Vanjie stated something. Why didn't I see what John Vega was doing? Why didn't I see what Eric was doing? Why didn't I do? As soon as we saw it, they were removed. So don't say I didn't see it. When I see something, I address it, and they were removed. Not all the time am I sitting on Cypher paying attention to everything. And really, to be honest, Vanjie, I didn't see it because I'm not sitting in Cypher all the time. There are other people who alerted me to what Eric was doing. There's other people who alerted me to what Dominique was doing. There were other people who alerted to me what Vega was doing. Now, Vega was something different because I was associated with him. But when he started to show himself is when he was jealous of the mate I was mating with. That's when he showed himself. So that wouldn't have been seen until he was adverse to somebody who I was truly with. So that's why I saw him. But the others were being seen, and he was checked. So don't say I didn't see it. I'm not sitting on Cypher going like this every day. I have a life. I have children. I have a life. I have a mate and I have a partner. I'm not sitting waiting around to see who's wrong. But when other people on the site are seeing these people and they call it out, and then I look at it and I see it's dirty, then it's addressed. Dominique she was removed when I was away. She was actually removed from Cypher for violating a couple other C-stars, and they removed her. So that's not true. Let's call a spade a spade. You can accuse me of certain things because it's my platform, but don't state things that aren't true. I didn't know because I wasn't looking at them. When I looked at them, they were all dirty. And look what they did afterwards. I'm a person. I'm not sitting here not doing and having a life. And I just say, like a lot of mothers and stuff, we're not sitting on here all day paying attention to everything. But when you do pay attention, you address it, you shouldn't be demonized for it. And if you remove people that are harmful, mentally ill, attacking other people, and then they show you that they're venomous and they're mentally ill and that they attack people, we should verify that is truth. So even if I was wrong removing this young lady or wrong removing Eric, what they did afterwards validated the reason why they were removed. That's it. That's it. We should be a little more rational in that thought too. Just because you had a dream doesn't mean it's exactly true. And FleurBrun is not sitting around remote viewing anyone. That is a lie. That's a lie that someone told you. I swear on my children, I'm not sitting here remote viewing. I wouldn't swear on my children if I did. I don't do that. And to say that I'm not pregnant, that is dastardly and that's hurtful, especially as much as I had to go through. So you're nasty to even allow somebody to even say that. That's dirty. And that's not a light work. And if you guys want to go get readings from someone who, as soon as you show that you don't like them, they gonna go and connect to everybody who hates you, then go, by all means, do what you do. Do what you do. Yeah, so anyway, so I want to, I think we kind of talked on that, and let's go back to, I always want to keep in the realm of the topic. This is a topic, and this was connected to parasitic removals, parasitic releases, leech releases, energy vampire releases. FleurBrun released some demons, some people who were dark. They weren't demons. I didn't know how demonic they were until I released parasites. They showed that they were dark when they were released. So do know in your life, don't be unafraid to release people from your life. Don't let this be a testament that doesn't matter how much they will come at you afterwards, as long as you stay in your integrity and you can come with the level of truth and validation that they aren't going to win. You should always be able to separate from people and don't feel bullied and don't feel obligated to stay attached to people because you're afraid they'll do what they did to me. They aren't winning. They've lost because what they did is they may have gained a couple of parasites along with them, which will do the same to them as they did to me. But what we did is we also got a chance to see from all angles. We see what happens when you do this. We see what happens if I was wrong, if I saw from a certain angle. And also we get a chance to see the aftermath of releasing parasites or demonics or, or people who are mentally unstable. This is what happens. And I'm grateful. I had a beautiful conference. I will have another conference. It looks like we're going to do another one. And it will be just as successful just like the first one. The second one is more beautiful. And there's going to be another one that's going to be just as successful. So I'm grateful for everyone who does rock with me and those aligned in this. And we aren't all here to be buddy-buddy. Basically, we're setting up our perimeters and we aren't going to all get along. So if you feel out of alignment with me, that's okay. And I'm okay with it. And I'm actually, if you separate me from your platforms, I'm not part of anybody's platform, but if you said to me, FleurBrun, I don't want to be a party to you, guess what? I will leave you alone and I won't attack you. I won't go to other people. I won't find your enemies and try to make a mockery of you. I won't do that. You know why? Because I love myself. And I mean more than anything that is coming against me or is out of alignment with me. So if you don't want to be a party to me anymore, I'm okay with it because I'm good with me. So everyone take this as a level of discernment. that you get to see, witness. There isn't anything I hide. I've been living in the same home for as long as you've known me. I've had roughly the same amount of people. You can validate my life in person. So actually, after this call, I'm actually going to call some people to validate who FleurBrun is. You met people who came to the conference, but you're going to hear about people who actually know me in real life. So those who are saying that I'm demonic or I have dark attachments, let's see how dark I am I show in my neighborhood. Because sometimes people could talk a lot of smack because they can't validate it. So let's actually talk to people who actually do know me, who actually know who I am, who actually see me daily with my children and see how I show up in the world. We should do that, because if you're going to talk about it, you should be about it. And if you haven't met me in person, if you haven't got a chance to feel my frequency or see my world, I'll give you a bird's eye view during this live.
I'm reading comments here, and every now and again, some will catch my eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, there's one, it's already gone now. One like, everyone has attachments. No, they do not. And that's coming from somebody that can't see.
Yeah.
If you could see, then you would know that's not true.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's just little things like that. People, dreams are legit. No, they're not. They are legit for you, the person perceiving them.
Yes.
Once you go through the real dream gates, you'll find out the truth is you're just standing there, present, pure awareness amongst electron impulses.
Yes.
And your real goal is to isolate what other energy generating beings are in your field of awareness.
Yes.
Once you remove the phantasmagorical images and just realize you're in the middle of an electron impulse.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of part of that. But so many people want you to hear their dreams, and they want it to be real for you and part of your awareness, but it's not. And when we experience another dimension or another universe, we experience it in a dreamlike state.
You do.
So that is relevant to your perception, your personal perception.
Thank you. It's not a projection. Just because you dream that FleurBrun is chasing you or I'm doing something to you, that doesn't mean that I'm actually doing it. Half the times when you share dreams, whether they're good or bad, I have zero connection to it. I'm not chasing you because I'm sleeping in bed with my babies. I'm not remote viewing you because I'm too busy living my life or planning things so that I can meet some amazing people and be with them. So just the fact that people keep talking about they see me in dreams, I personally think it's just because they're averse to me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not sitting like that dark being on the floor with the tower in between looking at someone else's life because I'm too busy living life. I'm not too busy watching you because I'm too busy watching me. So I'm just, we have to use a level of discernment. And I'm not saying your dreams aren't valid, but what I'm saying, like Barry said, they aren't valid to me. They're valid to you. That's how you feel, or the things that you're becoming aware of. I'm just tired of people using dreams as a way to, like validate their feelings about someone else. You could be dark. You could be having visions about, like I said, I may not have beings that are in sync with you because you're dark. This being, if she's having dreams about me doing that, it's because we don't get along. So she's dreaming about her aversion to me. That has nothing to do with me. I don't like her. I don't have to like her. So, you know what I mean? So it's only as valid as the person who's dreaming it or who's actually perceiving it. I agree.
It's interesting. That just takes me back in this real quick again, what the hell is this place again? And when you can see, people on here that can see, they know what I'm talking about. Yeah. When you really go into a haunted house, or when you work in a haunted house, you'll find that there are these disincarnate people, and when they transition, they're still stuck there, but they're trying to stop other people from transitioning.
That's right.
What the hell? And then you got these demons running around sexually attacking people when they're sleeping, incubus, succubus. I mean, and this is a place where you've got a slight demonic factor that moves around in like the fourth dimension or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Very free down here. And you've got the souls that are mostly in charge of this place are very dark, destroying the biosphere. But fortunately, most of the population isn't like that, and that's why we're still here. But we need to evaluate this, and is this the point where this is no longer going to be a prison planet? And is that the shift in consciousness that's going on right now?
Exactly.
Oh, Lord, I hope so. Because there's a lot of people caught in the reincarnation cycle here and are unaware of it. And as immortal souls, you need to take that real, because you're an immortal soul that incarnated here without a soul life memories. That is a major problem.
Mm-hmm. I think
it's not just a lesson. It's a problem.
It is.
Sorry.
No, I agree. Oh, thank you, Pablo. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. I think let's bring it to something beautiful. When you really are in alignment with someone, you will always be in alignment with them. People go through their ebbs and flows, and we're not always meant to be in a perfect position, or your perception is based on whatever's going in your life. But right now, at a pinnacle point, we're about to shift and go through a pole shift and go through higher levels of consciousness. There won't be allowed for you to be attached. That's why I say, with me parasitically removing people, I got 1 for 3. I got 3 for 1 special. When I remove one parasite, I got to see all the other parasites connected to that being, or just parasites in itself. And that's why I'm grateful. We shouldn't see this as negative, because being transparent and showing everything and us being honest, because I could have literally let it go, let her say what she wanted to say, but I felt like she was disrespecting not only myself, she was disrespecting Barry, Carlos, Aborzine, she was disrespecting the people that went to the conference. She was also disrespecting Offset, because by her bringing Offset's name in here, who's a bigger platform, she was disrespecting her. Whether it's the truth or not, she brought Offset's name in here. And also, I'm grateful that Offset has the chance to see how messy this being is. She brought her into a host of dirtiness. So now she's associated, whether it's the truth or not, now she's associated with something that's dirty and muddy. So I'm grateful. I hope Offset gets a chance to watch this and see what this being has been saying, utilizing her name as a catalyst to be able to validate what she's doing. So I love, and I'm grateful for revelations. I'm grateful to have some of the most amazing people who support me. I'm grateful that my life has shown up in a beautiful way, and I've evolved spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I'm grateful that this is only one moment in time where we're allowed to see this and move forward. Because if you don't talk about it and you don't bring it to if you don't acknowledge it, then it may not exist. We're talking about everything. We're bringing out our truth. I don't say that from another angle. She feels like I'm a demon. Remember, this being, Baron felt like I was a demon. The same Baron who went to the conference for free, who had the audacity not to help me, and also ate for free, drank for free, and sat down at a conference that other people pay for, and then asked me for money after the fact. He feels that I'm a demon. So that being said, he's attached to this other person too, and they're good with that. So what does that say about people? If someone shows you who they are, believe it every time. And if I'm a demon for you, by all means, separate from me, and I allow that, and I won't demonize you. I won't go to you and talk to your mother, who you're estranged with. I won't talk about your son and say that he's so on. I won't talk about your children. I won't talk about anything you do. If you want to separate from me, that's fine. That's why when you're in Cypher's a choice, and there's a lot of people trying to come in to be there, to be amongst people who are non-judgmental. So if I don't sit in honor and integrity, that allows for people to think that they can do this. You don't think because I have a YouTube channel that I don't get bullied. I get bullied every time I try to move away from someone who's dark, and they do things like this, and they make videos about me, and they're abusive to me. That's abusive. I never did it. I've never talked about that woman's child. I've never talked about her personally. All I said is I removed her from her being utilizing my platform as a come up, and it's verified that she was. That's all I said. She's talked about my pregnancies, my dead babies, my dead father. She's talked about, what else? I'm naked pictures, which I want to see, all these naked pictures online that no one's showing up. She's talked about, Offset hating me because she's making it seem like Offset didn't trust me. This is what she did. I didn't do that. So if you want to judge someone, look at all the evidence. Instead of her saying she has receipts of one conversation, look at all the evidence. Barry? Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't want to stop you while you're on your time reading.
No. Okay, so yeah. Oh, let me just
let you get out of your system.
Yeah. Also, I want to say to all the people, because I am going to New York. For everyone who's going to New York, and I'm going to be there in 9 days. So I said, Capricorn, you're going to meet me in New York. We're going to meet up in New York for anyone joining me who doesn't think I'm a demon, who doesn't think that I'm going to jump in their skin and hurt them. For anyone who doesn't think that I'm going to hurt their babies or have my dark beings attack you in your sleep, if you really are okay with me, I'm going to meet you in New York. So we're going to kind of plan For those who are there, I'll kind of tell, we're just doing a meet and greet because I'm going to be there quite a few days. We'll do a meet and greet so you guys can kind of meet up and we can meet together. And let me state this. I made no money for the conference and I'm not charging for the meet and greet. So you won't be charged for that. So there isn't anybody who will tell you that FleurBrun is doing everything for a come up. I've made no money. I made zero money on anything I've done because I want to do it because I want to do it. Okay? I don't want to just have conferences that other people do. I wanted to do that for myself. So for the meet and greet, it's free. You just have to pay for whatever food we're going to eat. We'll probably just do like we did at the conference and buy a whole bunch of food and eat together because you know how I get done. I get down. So I think Capricorn's going to try to find out. I don't know if we'll do Manhattan or Brooklyn. You know, I like to do either one. I probably want to do Manhattan, but we'll figure out where we're going to meet up. So I'll put that information out on the internet. You know, I'm not afraid to meet you in person. This is a difference. So when people say I'm dark and dirty, I'll meet you in person. So you can validate for yourself how evil I am or aren't. Okay, Harlem is good too, Nye. I think Harlem. Oh, I want to eat at that vegan. You know what? I want to eat at that vegan spot I ate with the sea stars. I want to eat there. So I know my lip gloss is tragic. Okay, so yeah, we can meet at that vegan spot in New York. So I want to put that in there. So we could probably do Harlem because yeah, Uptown will be good. You going? Oh, Vicky, you gonna be in New York?
You know, I think.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, go ahead, Barry.
No, I just think it's worth mentioning. You know that we're just people. You know what I mean? And that for me, sometimes I get annoyed at the amount of trollness that I get. You know what I mean? Or the people who say, "Oh, you got green eyes, so you must have O plus negative. You must be a reptilian." No, I don't have O blood. And no, I've not even had experiences with reptilians. If you listen to a damn thing I said, you know that. But you know, it is what it is. It's just people that have nothing better to do than sit behind the computer and hate and try to disrupt any type of awakening that's going on. And it gets tiresome at one point. You know, I don't claim to be a guru, so I'm not open to some of the attacks that are going to be these people that are claiming to be that. I'm just a man of knowledge, and I've already presented that. You know what I mean? Which is a different thing from trying to proclaim to be some shaman, some guru. That's not the deal, and I'm a contactee. And if any of that information can help somebody, so be it. That's what this whole thing going on right now is about. Yeah. It's certainly not. And this whole thing of hating on each other and I'm seeing stuff on them and this and all this backbiting, backstabbing, and this major ego that goes against the divine plan. There is a divine field and there is a divine plan, like it or not. There's definitely a divine field. And you do so much against it, you fall in another realm. So I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
But I'm sorry you had to go through this because I know how much it's bothered you on a personal level. And it sucks, especially when you're just trying to do something that is to gather like-minded and provide a good environment for that. That's all you try to do. And also, it's just that I've seen you pay for it, man. You got attacked every way possible.
I mean, it is what it is.
I'm sorry for that.
No, I appreciate that. It is what it is, and I appreciate that for every step I take forward, a couple steps and maybe a little step back, and I'm okay with that. And yes, for the Sea Star says I seem a little nervous. It is quite a nerve-wracking to have to defend something you did in with good intent, and also to defend those people who are aligned with you. Because not only was I getting attacked, the only reason I spoke out, if you notice, FleurBrun rarely speaks out in defense of myself because I feel like I'm about this life. The reason why this video is happening today because I wanted to defend the people who are aligned with me, who did an amazing job at the conference and otherwise. I wanted to defend them because I think at the end of the day, I chose this life on YouTube and I've been a part of this since 2011 in this sect. I haven't come from other sects. I've always been part of the UFO intelligence community. I've always come from that. So I'm part of this sect right here. And I don't think it's fair for people to be attacked for coming to my conference and doing an amazing job, or those to not be made accountable for using me and taking advantage of me. Someone who let a brown man come to a conference free and clear just for an exchange, and he took advantage of me, and then he goes to another platform and has the ability to slander and talk about my people there and so on. I think that's why I spoke out, because that was just too much. So, you know, I don't just talk about it, I be about it, and I allow you to meet me in person. So you know that I'm a real person. A lot of times you guys see me with my children, and it's not to put my children in harm's way. That's how you know how strongly I'm protected because I wouldn't let them attend these things if it wasn't for that. Okay, so that just lets you know the type of person I am. And if these people you haven't met in person and you've never been able to validate them or talk to people who know them, be careful thinking that they're real, because they're still smoke and mirrors until you can validate them in person. Okay?
Well said. Well said.
Anyway, so
I've met some of these people that are well known that are major smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
You know?
And you know, it's good. And
I've experienced that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
by the way, I gotta give a shout out to Selma too. Mm-hmm. Selma kept me almost laughing in tears, especially the last 2 days we were there.
Yeah.
So
Selma's off the hook.
Big shout out
and
to
also,
Selma.
Yeah, big up to Selma who joined us for the conference. Who did an amazing job assisting me, keeping everything level. She was my rock, my crystal, to be honest, my crystal. She made everything happen cohesively and beautiful. Big up to Vicky, Amy. Big up to Ada, who spoke, who did an amazing job. Big up to Barry. Big up to also Carlos, who busted his butt for the whole event. Big up to Aborazine, who spoke to me right before this. Aborazine did an amazing job. He came and showed up, and has always been, he cleared the whole house when we came to the bayou. So Aborazine walked around the entirety of the house and cleared the house the entire time. Big up to Salou and Netaru, the young folk who came through, who are really emitting a beautiful frequency. Sometimes us as more seasoned or more veterans as far as age is concerned, I'm very humbled a lot of times that parents like Kevin, that the parents would let their children come, and I don't take that for granted, that parents let their children come and spend time with me, knowing and trusting that they wouldn't be in harm's way. So I'm saying, make sure, I want to make sure I give a big up to them, who did that. A big up to all, Susan, everybody who showed up, who did an amazing job helping. A lot of the Sea Stars, Yolo, Yolanda, Selma, Amy, Vicky. I want to give a shout out to everyone who really assisted. We were overwhelmed and sleeping, and we were tired, and we were partying like rock stars. The event was amazing. I won't take away from it, but I will speak to things that are trying to, really create a negative narrative so people aren't able to do this. The event was amazing. I'm going to do it again, and it will just be just as amazing. Last year was great. This year was beautiful, and next year will be even better. Can't stop, won't stop. So for those, I'm going to end the blog talk. I'm actually going to call in one person just to make another validation, because I'm about that life. You won't say things about me and think you get away with it and then have anonymity when you do it. So we're going to actually make one more phone call after that, if you don't mind. All right, Barry, so I'm going to end the blog talk, love. Barry?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm going to end the blog talk, and I'm going to stay on live a little bit, and I'm going to talk to a couple more people who I feel have, so we can have receipts on things that are being said.
More receipts, I got you. More receipts, all right.
Young people like to say receipts, so this way we have it. All right, my love? Thank you again, Barry. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for everything, and thank you for having me to that conference and giving me a shout out. I try to stay out of this type of stuff, but man, some of those comments was just not necessary. That was just too much. Come on.
And and like I said, I'm not going to stop allowing people to come to the conference because of what that being what's his name, Barron did. I won't do that. I won't not be who I am because he messed it up. He messed it up for himself, and he showed himself. But I will always extend if I do anything, because I'm not about making money. This is not how I make my income here. YouTube is not my income, family. So that's why it's hard for me to be incepted, because money is not a factor for me. So because of that, I will still extend myself when I do conferences for those people who can't afford it. If they are able to assist or help in making it happen, I always welcome you to do fair exchange. I think that's fair, and I will continue to do it, and I won't let one person ruin that for all of us. We will continue to do this. I feel like it's so necessary, and I want to make sure that I allow a safe place and a safe haven for anyone. No possessions, no remote viewing, good food, good company, and good frequency. I will continue to do that. So thank you, Barry.
My pleasure. Thank you again. And I've got much appreciation for you, and look forward to another one of our conversations. And watch that blade thing I sent you.
Oh, yeah, I saw it in my email. Okay, perfect. All right, peace.
All right. Hey, take care. God bless. Bye.
Okay. So, family, we always have to come because the young people like to talk about receipts all the time, and I want to make sure um,
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
You're off Blog Talk now. So you have my time and attention for a little bit, and this is also going into, make sure you clear and cleanse for anyone in here. For anyone who did Santo Paulo, we kind of do that a little bit. Let me go into, let's see if we can get a phone call. Yeah, John is always very interesting. Answer. He'll call back. Hold up. This is like, back in the days when you were calling your friends and you call them on freeway. Hold on. I'm calling people impromptu. Well, we can, I agree with you, but sometimes validation is key. I think she's on here.
Hey.
Hey, Cucina. Before you talk, wait, before you talk.
What a surprise.
You're on live. You're just talking to me right now, Cucina. I warn you.
Okay, so you have a question for me? That's why you call me?
Of course. How was your day, Cucina?
It's all Gucci here in the hood.
So, Guccina, remember Guccina?
Yes.
Many of you know Guccina. Me and her rocked it out for a month in Brazil, right? We had an amazing time. And many of you saw on the video, this is my beautiful Nista who is Brazilian and amazing. Are you feeling Gucci today?
Yes.
So, go ahead, Guccina.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm listening.
So, Guccina, why I called you impromptu is I want to give everyone kind of like the bird's eye view of when you met me. You kind of met me like impromptu, right? And we kind of met for the first time kind of like a couple months ago, correct?
It was in June. No, June we start talking.
No,
yes?
May, because I came up
in person.
Yeah, in person. So
in person was in June.
That's right, in June, because I came in the beginning of June. That's right. So Guccina.
Yeah, yes.
So Guccina, when you met me for the first time, what was your initial feeling when you met me? Did I look like the person who's online?
For me, it was like, oh, it's so good to have someone like me. I can say whatever I want. She's not gonna call me crazy. We're on the same planet. That was more. For me, it was the same as the video I was watching, but better.
Oh, thank you. So when we were hanging out in Brazil, gosh knows we had a whole bunch of occurrences. A lot of times, did you feel like I was going to harm you in any way? Did you feel like I was going to? I have to ask
this
question.
Is funny. Why? Of course, for me, you're a normal person like me.
Exactly.
But I'm cuckoo, you're cuckoo, so we are cuckoo together. But no violence.
Absolutely.
We are lovers.
Absolutely. And did you?
Why?
Absolutely. And I guess I'm just asking because there's a lot of people that don't meet me in person. So I want to validate that these dark beings that they say connected to me, could be possessed or I'm remote viewing. Did you ever feel like I was staying up all night, remote viewing people and looking into their lives? Do you think that that's my personality?
Look at this. I was in control of your life. The whole time you're in Brazil, I had the one that was doing the driving, so you cannot go anywhere without
That's right.
me. You were in a house in the middle of the beautiful nature, so you were waiting for me to pick you up every day.
That's right.
I drop you there, I pick you up there. Everything you did was all places where whenever we went and things we did, all things that I liked. So I don't know how can you do any. I don't know what they're accusing you of, and I'm confused because you are normal to me.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we are not normal. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that's concerned, did you feel like my children were dark beings and that me as a mother, like I have to ask these questions because You know, a lot of times people will make up things online and they'll have a platform for it because they validate themselves and they never met me. So I'm calling people who know me. You know what I mean? So did you feel like I was infesting my children with dark beings and I was hurting them, or they showed up dark?
No, this is crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
This is funny what you're telling me right now.
And it does sound ridiculous and it does sound amazing, but we made a beautiful sisterhood, right? We did a lot of clearances on the beach.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate. Oh, go ahead, Cucina.
I was thinking about when we were four of us on the beach at the night and the ET were coming in our direction. I want to run.
So you can validate that we saw the UFO come out from the back, right?
Oh, I was getting ready to run.
You were
But
terrified.
you start saying some things and then they decided to leave.
Absolutely. I said, you know, because I know you got nervous. So I said, if they're not in sync with us, they aren't allowed to engage with us. And they left, right? The UFOs left.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I don't know. People always talk about others, okay? I do nothing and people talk about me. I most of the time inside of my house because I'm not very social to the world that we live now. And people still talk about me.
Absolutely.
So I don't know.
Exactly. So I just love it. I just want to talk to you, and we talked yesterday, but I wanted to give a bird's eye view when you first meet me, and this is me going to Brazil, and we had, well, I think we had probably the most incredible time. We had so many things that were happening as far as UFOs.
Yeah, this is one thing. When we are together, a lot of things were happening.
Yes.
Happening,
yes.
No? And then after you left, not much going on. I think the energy when I was with you, it was more interesting.
We activated each other.
To me,
yeah.
To me, it was interesting. So
we had a lot of.
And I don't meet people. I was talking about you this morning with the one of the house that I'm renting here.
Yeah. And
on the time that we were together, how interesting it was.
It was amazing. We had a lot of like spiritual things happen there, like on site, which was amazing. UFOs, like we saw the ET faces show up on the poles. As soon as we got there, we felt like they were leading us in a certain direction.
Yeah, but then, are you on the air?
Yes.
Oh.
That's why I call you Cucina. To keep your anonymity.
Okay. Well, I don't know what they're saying, but to me, you're a normal person. Normal, like the same planet where I'm from, because we can talk about anything and we understand each other.
Exactly.
It's rare to find these things in Brazil. So for me, it's Gucci. I don't know what's going on with the other people.
Well, I think, you know, a lot of times people can talk about you because they're behind a screen and they never meet you in person. And if you don't...
But this is what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Whoever is saying something ever met you in person?
No. They've never met me.
Why are you going to care what they're saying?
Exactly.
There's no value.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Proof. Whatever they're saying. Proof. That's the way. Okay, you're saying thing to improve.
Oh, wait. You came in, Gucci.
Hello?
You went out. Yeah. What'd you say?
In America, they say you are innocent until you prove guilt.
That's true.
So whatever they're saying about you, what is the proof?
Well, they think they had proof. Like, they have people who had dreams about me. They think that's proof. People had dreams about me. People said they were...
I had dreams about your daughters. Remember, I called you and I had dreams about your daughters.
That's right.
But so what?
Exactly. It has to do with just the dreams playing out for a reason. Very good. I love that you said that. So I'm not gonna bother you, Cucina.
No, I'm just saying, don't pay attention to these people. Like, hello.
Absolutely. I love it. Cucina keeps it real though too.
Humans. They're lost souls.
I agree.
Don't feed these people. That's what they want. They want attention. They want feed the, you know what I mean?
They want me to feed the alligators. They do.
Exactly. Don't waste your time with them. Ignore them. Let them, whatever.
I love it. I love it. You know.
What are you talking about today? Because I just came home.
You just came home? I was talking about parasites. How parasites will connect to you. And when you disinfect from parasites, they attack you. Like if you think you're wrong releasing someone who's parasitic, they always attack you or try to demonize your persona.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Do you find that?
This is why I don't have too much contact with people. I
Yes.
stay away.
I understand. I understand. And it's for that reason because because even in Brazil, right, you meet people that aren't awake and aware a lot of times.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere here.
Mm-hmm. And we've tried to talk to people when we were there. Remember the guy glitched out on us? We had a beautiful,
Oh yes.
we had a conversation with this guy and we thought I told Kachina to kind of translate it and we thought he was there until he glitched out and he wasn't able to even talk about the subject anymore.
Yeah, but you know, Brazil, I encounter this every day. You just need to know you need to learn how to navigate in this country.
That's right. Exactly.
Because it's a very rich country and everybody comes here to take something off.
That's true.
From here. So I hear crazy stories every single day, but I don't know. I have my own mind. Nobody can convince me of anything. So
I love that.
I'm like, whatever.
Whatever. I love it, Guccina, whatever. So anyway, Guccina, I'm going to let you go. I just want to call. Thank you for answering the call. I know you came live.
Don't waste your time with these people.
That's right. Tell me, Guccina. Tell me.
Put them in the banana category. They're bananas.
Banana. Because they don't know what we're talking about. We call people bananas. That's Guccina calls people bananas that are mentally unstable. She says, "Oh, I don't want to mess with that banana. That means mentally unstable." That's her code for
waste of time.
Yes, it is. But I addressed it because whenever someone's reputation is affected, especially people who are associated with me, I had to make sure that because people attended this beautiful conference and it wasn't right for people to associate negativity with the conference. You talked to me before the conference. Wasn't I a little stressed about planning it?
Yeah, that's why I didn't bother you much.
That's right. You knew I was going through it. You knew that I was.
Yeah, I said let her do her thing. When she's done, we talk.
Absolutely. And hopefully I'm going to be back there hopefully by winter time. So we will cross fingers and I'll be back with Guccina for other adventures, which we will document.
Yeah, we need to do part 2 in the south now.
They're going to do part 2 in the south of Brazil. That's what we're going to do next time. It'll be so much fun. It'll be beautiful.
It's a completely different planet. That's why I was talking about you this morning with the owner here. It was like it would be so different to be in this side.
Absolutely. I think it is going to be amazing. So, all right, Guccina, I'm going to let you go. I'll call you later offline. I promise I won't ever put you online again. I just wanted to have somebody talk to somebody who actually meets me and knows me. So, when they say that you are infected by darkness or you're going to be possessed, I wanted to show you that you're not possessed yet.
I should be dead by now.
No, I mean, we spent a month together. You should at least be possessed. You should be having all kinds of dreams of mass destruction, right?
I'm doing pretty well. What is my superpower? But look, the other thing they say in America, talk good or bad, but talk about me. Oh. So that means you are making something in their lives for them to be talking about you. So let them talk.
I am, Mama. I am. And they get more views when they bring up my name. So
let them talk.
Absolutely.
Life is Gucci.
It is. It's all good in the hood. Everything's good. The energies are changing. We're raising our frequency. It's amazing. So we should really just...
Do you notice today is different?
You know what I think is because of yesterday's portal, right? Because the portal was yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. The portal yesterday was opened, and I think a lot of revelations or clearing, right? Clearing. I felt a lot of clearing yesterday.
Yeah. Yes.
Because we had the full moon. So I think we're right on point. Everything is happening as they should be. So I'm appreciative of it and grateful for all the revelations.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, Guccina.
Everything go as it should.
That's right. So thank you, Guccina. I will call you later. I appreciate you answering my call and have a fantastic day.
If something strange happened to me after all this time that I met you, I'm going to make a YouTube video, okay?
Yes, please do. Please make a YouTube video about your possession.
So everybody knows the truth.
That's right.
Oh, she's insane. She's possessive.
Yeah.
I'm possessive by love.
Love frequency. That's all it is. Absolutely. All right, Mama.
Okay, babe. Be Gucci.
Okay, Gucci. Peace. That's my Paulina. I know that people are like, well, why? I love this. This is Guccina showing up beautifully. This is a woman who met me on YouTube. We became really, really close, and we spent an entire month, and we've been talking almost every day. every week until I left. She's my sister. We had an amazing time. Many of you see, if you get a chance, if you don't get to just see my Brazilian adventure, we had a lot of contact with ETs there. Everything is on film. So, you know, I love that we're showing the truth that needs to be said, because if you're living well and you're living in light, it should be reflected and refracted back to you. So I'm showing the refraction of light and how it shows up in my personal world, people who personally know me. So if you're going to talk about it, you have to be about it. Okay, so I think, let's see. Hold on, family. Let's, hold on 1 second. You're spending time with me today. I'm not going to spend that much time because this has been a long, oh, okay. Let's see. Sometimes you have to, in order to create a wave, you have to be the wave. I think that'll work. I'm doing those calls. You ever do those sneak calls, like you're calling people when they're at work? Like, hey, you're on live. I'm doing one of those. I love doing that. Back in the days when I was young, I loved to do stuff like that. Like call them like, hey, you're on the live. A lot of people actually have lives, so they're not just at my beck and call. You know what I mean? Oh, Narda. I want to see if Narda's going to answer. Okay, this will be the last call. I was going to call Kirk. Kirk actually wanted a message to the young being who said I wasn't pregnant. Kirk had a message for her, okay? So I was calling, Kirk is at work right now, but Kirk actually had a message for the dark being. Hey. Hey, Narda.
Hello.
Hi, Narda.
Hi.
Wait, before you go on, I have you live, just to let you know. So you're on live.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This is Narda, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. C-Star.
Peace, everyone.
So we were talking on the topic, really the overall topic was parasites and parasite removal, the aftermath of parasitic removals or energetic, energetic vampires being released. Thank you. Oh, Lauren Hill, Lost Ones. Thank you, Pavel. We'll play that song. So how do you feel about parasites and how they show up, or what's going on energetic wise right now? What say you, Narda?
Energetically, wow, there is so much inception and parasitic attachment on so many different levels.
Yes.
I believe some may be unaware to the degree of inception,
yes.
Inception that's coming about that's manipulated through government and other galactical influences that are involved.
Absolutely.
The warfare with walk-ins, through immunizations, your food,
Yes.
Flu shots, medically. I mean, it's so much on so many different levels.
Absolutely.
Of the containment or to cap mental awakening.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's with like AI on the computer screens, or with like the level of infection sometimes comes from the electronics? A lot of times, like people can sometimes be, because I think social media in itself is kind of like the interface with AI a lot of times, and even if we're unaware of it, it can, if we aren't with proper discernment or we have a level of mental illness, it can incept our mind space.
Absolutely, it plays in. It runs, or it. How can I put it into the correct way of saying? We're studied.
Yes.
By every insert in the computer, not just what you physically put in. Is following you through facial mapping. The stores you go to, when you're having to register, when you're using your card, you're paying your bills, groceries, and everything. You are registered, or you're mapped as an individual, and your influences or your interactions on social media, whether it's Facebook or any other fashion that you choose to engage in, that's just a reinforcer of the mapping. And they go on to formatting a form of intelligence or a form of interaction by under the guise of it being you, but it not necessarily being you. But if you are parasitically compromised, AI can influence your behavior by merging in with your intelligence and just using your body to act it out.
Yes, I agree. That's so, you said that so eloquently. So you said that so effortless. It's true. And I think a lot of times, you know, that's why I did decide to do things on a personal level, because the interface on internet sometimes it can't be translated properly. And I almost feel like
Correct.
sometimes we have to meet in person in order to dispel some of those spells, so to speak, or the illusions, or maybe the mishaps. Because when you meet someone in person, you can kind of register their frequency so much more than you can on social media.
Correct.
Hey, baby.
My apologies. That's my little one in the background.
Don't apologize. I'm calling you impromptu. So, because you've always had you great discernment, and you great intellect too. And I felt like you had a level of, of share to this topic. I think a lot of times, when we're online, we think it's like all good in the hood, and we can interface without a level of protection. But even with protection, you're still inceptible based on AI and, like you said, facial mapping. And they also know when we don't get along with someone. So if a dark being wanted to incept someone who's lighter, all they had to do is go through the airways and find out where the algorithm is off, or where there's tension somewhere.
Absolutely. And through your emotional attachment.
It's true. Absolutely. A lot of times they attack your family. They'll go through family members to get to you.
Absolutely. You may have something as simple as a favorite food or beverage or something that you just enjoy, and a family member or a loved one or whom you have an emotional attachment, if they are infected, they try to use that program or that person as a form of getting to you, whether they introduce it through your food or if they're advocating for medical checkup. There's so many different ways to incept.
I agree. And, what is a way that we can kind of protect ourselves without being so totally isolated? What are ways, do you think, to try to keep a healthy level of shielding with being normal, so to speak? You know what I mean? With having a level of some interface with the populace, but not too much. Mm-hmm. What do you think are some of the ways?
Fasting first and foremost, even if it's intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Meditation. Mm-hmm. Having your herbal arsenal. Being astute, being aware of your social environment, what's going on, even at your children's school, if they're clubs or whatever you're associated or affiliated with, your level of awareness. Pay attention to trends. Pay attention to something as simple as groceries, what's trending, what's selling, even in terms of how they have a way of setting up when you go into the drugstore, certain things that are on sale, whereas before it wasn't on sale. Buy one, get one. Pay attention to what's trending, because a lot of times those who are informed or awake, if you pay attention to the trends like CVS, for example, there's vitamin B or vitamin D or vitamin E that's on sale, whereas before it was not on sale. Well, that's something maybe you should take note of and stock and put it into your arsenal, because you never know what's presenting or what may come about.
That's true. Be highly aware of trends, or the algorithm also, whatever they promote the most on social media as well. Like, I find social media has become kind of like a loosey-goosey kind of environment, whereas back in the days when I joined YouTube, it was kind of cleaner. You know what I mean? Like, people who only went on YouTube, they were sharing. They didn't really necessarily have agendas, and I don't think we had advertisement then. I don't think we really had it I'm not sure. I don't think it was monetized in 2011. Somebody can validate that. I don't think it was monetized. I think once they sent in commercials and they started monetizing it, I think then you had a level of inception, because now people who are calling themselves spiritualist or psychic can come online now, and their motivation can't be clear, because now their motivation may be making money off of YouTube. Because I almost feel like the most promoted in the algorithm are the most that are in the alignment of the Matrix agenda. How do you feel?
That's very true. Those that are giving out diamonds or true food for soul, or what you should be aware of, if you just take notice, they may have had 15,000 subscriptions or subscribers, and within a blink of an eye, they're down to less than 5,000.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. You like my wisdom. You keep my balance, and I've known you for a bit, and we kind of talked about this, how it interrelates in our family dynamics and even in our world. And I just feel like, sometimes you kind of just have to stand back and watch, but I'm really advocate of doing both. Sometimes I'll sit and watch and just let things go. But then there's times when I feel like we have to stand in integrity and truth, and stand in, speaking what is occurring. Because sometimes if you don't speak about what's happening, the dark ones get away with it. They have anonymity to just do what they do, and there isn't any accountability for what they're engaged in. So, I hate really coming on and talking about this level of personalizing something that occurred. But like I said, so many people were attacked that were associated with me. And then what I'm doing is also in itself getting dirty. So I felt like I had to speak at least for them and for the platform and the level of inception that happens when you separate from people that are not in alignment anymore. Let me ask you a question on a personal level. If you had somebody who you were aligned with who decided they didn't want to be a party to you anymore, maybe they just didn't like you, or they didn't like you, or they felt out of alignment with you, and they decided to part ways, would you attack them or find people that hate them? I just want to know the mindset of most rational people.
Absolutely not, because just as seasons of the year, so are the seasons of our life. We are walking through times, and things are meant to change. What's the catalyst to your growth is necessary to come about.
I agree.
Challengers and challenges raise your vibration or your awakening to the next level.
That's right. Absolutely.
So you don't fight it, you go with it.
Yes.
Because your higher self is manipulating or allowing things to transpire for your growth.
Yes.
So you don't fight against it. And you don't you just move forward. Now, things that you have to check and challenge and bring awareness to, you do that. And you move forward. But if a person excused themselves out of your life, allow them to do so.
Absolutely. I love that. You just, like I said, you eloquently stated that. It's a reason in a season things happen. And if change, we know one thing that we will always do is consistently and perpetually change. And to accept that
Absolutely.
with ease is a lot better than to resist it and create more strife. Because we can have a wonderful relationship with one person, and even with my parents, it changed from when I was a child to then when I was an adult. My relationship with them changed, the dynamics of how we interface changed. So we have to, as we go through our level of awakening, every person will show up in our lives to show us an aspect of self, but also to resolve things that we are unaware of seeing, So I'm grateful. Like I said, I was actually really excited that so much was coming out, because I felt like if I can't see it, I can't address it. I prefer to see it. Like, I want to see the boo-boo so I can heal it, so I can put the herbs on it, so I can address it. But if I don't see it, I can't address it. So I always welcome the healing, and I also welcome the insight on things that are happening in my personal life and in others, in order to validate where I am and as far as the spectrum of awareness and awakening.
Absolutely. And if I may, since the time that we have been allowed to cross one another's timelines, and with the degree of intel that I have been exposed to, I am so humbled and thankful and gracious to you the risk that you assume with bringing knowledge to the masses of people who would otherwise not know. I don't think people understand the degree of service that you give to our community. And I think they take it for granted. Because with the information that you receive and the intel that you receive, you're not a selfish one. You don't take that information and say, hey, I'm going to put this meet and greet on, or I'm going to have a conference and I'm going to charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars like others do for knowledge.
Yes.
I am freely gifting you gems so that you and your family might be saved.
I agree.
Who does that other than someone that is founded and just resonates in love for humanity, mankind, just the planet?
Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. I appreciate it. I think, like I said, when I came in 2011, I didn't do it for anything other than to kind of just vent and find a few. I don't even think I thought there'd be a few, because I was the only woman of color out there talking about ETs, but I just did it to kind of put it out there. I didn't realize that there would be a receptivity to it, or to the degree of the receptivity. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for my level of leveling up over the years. Sometimes I had to retract things, like about Pelagians, certain things that I hadn't had any information. I had to retract, one time I was like, the Pelagians are false. And then I had to say a year later, when I was made aware of the Pelagians, I had to take that back. So there isn't any lack of ability to apologize or to rescind on things that aren't any longer in my intel or what I think is real. But, I won't stand by and allow something that came with such integrity and hard work to be disrespected, disregarded. And those who are aligned with me, who really rocked it out and really put themselves in a position to show up so beautifully, I think they should be as commended as anything I did. I just brought it together, but they actually showed up to be a party to it. So I think at the end of the day, we have to give them credit and also speak up for those who join to our family.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Narda. I don't want to disturb you. I do a little prompt call in. This is like the old back in the days New York thing. You just call people on the phone and just like, hey, you're online. Hello, Narda. We're just talking to 300 people online, if you don't mind talking to them.
No, not at all. Not at all. Infinite gratitude for your service work.
Thank you. Okay.
I cannot say it enough. And I'm really getting a little choked up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama. I appreciate it. And we'll chat later. Okay? Have a massive
Absolutely.
day. Peace. I just wanted to give another call to another C-star. She's amazing. Narda is like thebomb.com. She's got a wealth of knowledge, intel. I mean, she humbles me on a regular basis. So, I think sometimes the people who are in the back lay, and not even back lay, because Narda's here all the time, but just people on the back lay who are actually in the frequency of the awareness or the level of consciousness we are at, they need to get just as much credit as you guys give me, because they show up. And believe me, if I was dark or crazy, they would check me. See, these are people who actually really know me. So I take more credence from those who know me, who check me, than those who think they know me, or just having a level of awareness of the things that they want to know of me and they try to check me. Because at the end of the day, there's people checking me if I'm off, but they also validate the things that I feel, and they also give me a lot of kudos when I feel like I'm doing righteous. So believe I'm balanced in that way, and I have some of the most amazing people who surround me. So this being said, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining for this somewhat rant, and I hope in me showing up a little bit as a martyr is a testament of the leveling up that's required at this time. If you aren't for me, if you aren't in alignment with me, I'm okay with that. And because you're not in alignment with me, I won't attack your family. I won't go to your enemies, and I won't talk about you losing your children or anything that's hurtful to you, because I'm not about that life. But what I will speak to is I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to show up in the world that I want to see in the world back. So blessed believe, I believe in karma, and I think what goes around comes around. That's why we spoke very transparently. We make sure we show young people say receipts. I showed personal receipts of people, not just writings, people, and showed what people were saying and truly, sharing on here. And like I said, not everybody has to be in agreement. You can like who you like, but I won't stand idly and allow people who love me and who really were amazing in making this event happen and supporting me to be attacked. But I will call out those who were intending to stop the conference. Now we know the truth about who actually was blacklisting. And guess what? They attempted to blacklist, but can't stop, won't stop. The conference went unhinged beautifully and masterfully, and all the beings that were intended to be there showed up. That I'm grateful for. And let me state to any parasites, any demons, any vampiric beings or leeches, if you think that the light won't be shown on you one day, let this be a testament that when we separate from you, parasitic beings, that the light will be shown on you, and you best make sure that you are illuminating in the way that you detailed when we disregarded from you, when we disengaged from you. Okay? So have a masterful day. I'm done. I'm hungry. Okay? And wait, let me say, FleurBrun is thick. I am a thickums. I am grateful for it. But another one thing. Keep my babies out your mouth. That is the most darkest and nastiest thing that anyone could do. And if you have and hear anyone talking about someone's children or talking about people's babies or losing children, and you think that they're a light being, that's a testament that they're everything but everything, including dark. Okay, so I love you, family. Let me go eat and enjoy myself. Let me say this. I spoke to Kirk earlier. Let me speak on Kirk's behalf because he's actually at work. He wanted me to say this. He wanted to say it himself. He's speaking to the being who talked about his babies. He said, keep his children out your mouth. He is still hurting and he is still recovering from losing his son and the other baby that we didn't know what sex it was. He's disgusted by people talking about something about a woman that he loved, that he was there for, and was absolutely in alignment with having these beautiful babies. How dare you talk about his children? So when you talk about the babies that I supposedly didn't have, you best believe there was a daddy who does not appreciate the dirt that you're talking about. And believe me, he's okay telling each one of you nasty beings off. And don't talk about Kirk's babies. All right? That's all I have to say. All right, family. Love you, family. I love you. I hope this wasn't too dark. Clean off and cleanse. It's a beautiful day. And again, we had the 11/11 portal. This is right on time, that full moon. Clear yourself. Be okay to have people separate from themselves. And also, maybe we should do a fast after this. I just disinfected from those parasites. This is a time to fast. And how all these things came about, to be honest, that 30-day fast got rid of that being, and it got rid of a few others. I had a 3-for-1 special, and I'm so grateful and honored that I had a chance to see this play out publicly so that I can fully solidify that my consciousness is where it needs to be and where I wanted it to be. All right? I love you, family. Have an amazing day, and we shall chat. Peace.